Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and I'm in a little bit of a different place than normal. It's a Wow Wednesday, and I'm wowing about the news about Fred in the last couple days. I was going to have the window open, but it's too bright, and you can't see out there anyway. Yeah, I'm near the lake, and I got a really good view, but I don't know how to make it see on the show, unfortunately. So I should just close this up. I am always trying stuff with light, and it doesn't work. So anyway, yeah, I'm on the road. I'm not actually home right now, so I'm on an undisclosed location. So we'll do this show from this hotel room here that I'm at. But yeah, we're doing Wow Wednesday, and we're talking Fred, and we're going to talk about other stuff today. It's the Raptor Freak stream. Wow Wednesday, let's go. So I know I've already covered this to an extent about Fred VanVleet and torn ACL and to start the season. And I just want to say once again, Fred, we love you. Wishing as much healing vibes going towards you to recover as quickly as possible and to continue your NBA career unfettered by this injury right now. It sucks. I hate hearing this news about Fred because honestly, he's gone through a lot in his life with different injuries in his NBA career. And this latest one, well, he just didn't need this, especially with Rockets looking so promising for this season coming up. So, yeah, it is what it is. And, well, I'm sorry, Freddie. Hopefully you'll heal fast and you'll be able to still come back by the end of the season and help the team that you're on, which hopefully will be the Rockets, do very well in the playoffs. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But we'll have to see. All right, guys, I'm going to get into the chat. We don't have to do a super long stream just because, things are a little upside down. And we'll do all the regular stuff and we'll get done and get going. All right. So Trevor J's in first. He's saying this. Words of wisdom. We need leaders who are not in love with money, but in love with justice, not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. Yeah. Yeah, this is very true. One of the things I've said a lot, and I've said it for many years, not just recently, and it's something that I've thought about for most of my adult life, is every person has a choice. You have a choice to love money or love people. And in some ways, if you're able to meld both of those at the right levels where it's healthy and just and good, that's fantastic. You can love money to a degree and want money and want abundance to come to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it turns into greed, when it turns into I'm going to change the rules or break the rules, or I'm going to leverage a position or anything like that to enrich myself, you become immoral in my book. Seriously. And that could be as simple as I don't pay my employees enough money for them to live, but I have $5 billion, Jeff Bezos, something like that. So I think that especially in the age we're in right now and the way it's going currently right now, the people really need to search their soul and understand what is being a good Christian, what is being a good Jewish person, what is being a good Muslim, what is being a good person in general. Is it screwing everybody else over to get what I want and as much as I want and a crazy amount that is just not really useful? Because that's the problem right here. Too many people are picking the almighty dollar over humanity. And humanity matters. You don't have a society without humanity. You go ahead and have all the money in the world, you starve everybody and they all die. How are you going to make more money off people if you kill your market? So there's got to be some sort of like semblance of reasonableness as far as middle ground with this. I'm not saying people can't lust for money. In some ways, I think you're immoral and you're fucked up, and that maybe you should like align your morals a little bit better. Maybe you should care more about grandmas and little kids and people being able to eat and people being able to live in a house instead of fucking owning a 6 mansion, shit like that. So that is going to be the real struggle of our times is, are you for money or are you for people? And where are you going to lay in that equilibrium of that? I'm not saying don't go out and be a capitalist and try and make as much money as you can. It's just do it responsibly. Do it fucking responsibly and honor the social contract with your workers. Everybody should be able to live a full life on their job. yeah, people think, oh, you work at McDonald's, you shouldn't be able to pay for everything. No, they should. The wages should be right so that a woman or a man who works at McDonald's full time, and that's all they do, they should be able to afford their life. And anybody who thinks, no, they shouldn't, well, who the fuck are you? You're not a humanistic person, because everybody who works should be able to afford their life. If you have a job and you're working your ass off and you still can't afford your life, society's broken. Society is broken. And that's what I say right there. Greed has gotten out of hand, Gordon Gekko. And Michael Douglas and Wall Street, you guys were horrible influence on this world from the 80s. You pieces of shit. That's what I say. Not to Michael Douglas himself, but Gordon Gekko. But yeah, thanks for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. I appreciate you, man. He's saying this, that the playoffs, Phoenix came back in overtime and beat the Lynx. Wow. I know. I was watching the box score on the end of that game, and I saw that Minnesota had the lead going into the last 40 seconds. But I guess there's some heroics by the Phoenix Mercury. They get to overtime, and then boom, they seal the deal and come back around and win that game and stop the perfect run in the playoffs by the Minnesota Lynx. And I'm impressed, Mercury. I am impressed. Not only did y'all get past the last round against the New York Liberty, but now you have beaten the best team in the league in an overtime game and a comeback from behind victory. That's fantastic stuff. Also, the Aces beat Indiana in their game also. Yeah, to even up their series. So WNBA playoff action is fantastic, y'all. It's been very, very good this year. Very entertaining. Lots of good stuff going on there. Yeah, James is here. Raptor Freak James, good morning to you, sir. Lex, do you think a team with Fred, RJ, Scotty, Pascal, and Pirtle would be a top 4 team in the East? It's a fun team. It's a fun team. We almost had that, except Fred wasn't there. We did have the spicy barbecue period for a brief moment in time where we had Pascal and RJ at the same time, and Yak was on the team, so was Scotty. So we had that formation, all except for VanVleet. And, instead we had Emmanuel. That spicy barbecue period was very good. We won a lot. And that's why a lot of people say, why did we have to trade Siakam to Indiana? Because if we had Siakam, RJ, Scotty, Emmanuel, and Jakob Poeltl, we'd be badasses. The spicy barbecue era was short, and it was fun, and it was winning. That's the crazy thing. I mean, I didn't totally agree with having to trade Siakam at that time because it looked like we were going to start winning a lot with that overabundance of talent. But in some ways, it's like Siakam can get in the way of RJ, and other guys are coming up like Grady and Jacoby as far as getting better, probably. And the whole thing with Siakam was he was already on his way out by the time spicy barbecue happened. And, the wheels were already in motion that he was going to be having to go at some point. So it's a weird situation. That team is fun. And the reason why in some ways that works better with Fred is because Fred's connection with Jakob and Pascal is very high level and from their rookie year. And they know each other inside out. In fact, Jakob Poeltl works so well with Fred VanVleet. Like the two of them together are just badasses. And at this point in their career, them working off each other would be at high level veteran ways. They were already good when they were younger players. They really played off each other well. But at this point, Fred and Yak as a pick and roll combo or any of that kind of stuff that they like to do is very, very good. Let's just put it that way. Very, very good. So yeah, I think we're going to be a top 4 team in the East with our team right now going this season, James. So let's not woulda, coulda, shoulda. Let's just say this is who we got. We're going to top 4. We're going to top 4 this year. I'm telling you right now, we are. Let's see. Trevor J saying, remember, don't forget not to take the Tylenol. It causes autism. I love it. You know what Tylenol did, Trevor? They came out with a tweet and they said, release the Epstein files and quit screwing around. That's what Tylenol said. Quit distracting and release the Epstein files, Donald Trump, you piece of crap. Tylenol, you're awesome. I never thought I'd be rooting on an aspirin company for talking trash to the president. That's hilarious. What world are we living in? We are so close to idiocracy. We are in idiocracy. This is idiocracy. Mike Judge, you wrote the script for 2025. Why did you do that? Tylenol told him off and said, forget about autism, forget about us. Release the Epstein files. Stop distracting. That's what Tylenol said. It was hilarious, man. Trump has dumb syndrome. Yeah, he's got something. Let's just put it that way. He's got something. He's got malignant narcissist oligarch wannabe dictator syndrome. That's what he's got. That's right. That's what he's got right there. I think I actually clinically diagnosed him pretty accurately right there. Any clinical psychologists or psychiatrics here, could you tell me that I just diagnosed Donald Trump correctly? Malignant narcissist wannabe oligarch with dictatorial tendencies, fascist tendencies. I think that's right. I think that's right. Shaq Lindsay saying Jimmy is back. Jimmy back. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel came back last night. I didn't watch it. I was asleep. But good. And I heard Trump was freaking out over it last night. There you go. Yeah. When is media day for the Raptors? Shaq Lindsay, media day will be next Monday. So we're on the home stretch. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days from now. We'll see the guys take the podium at OVO Center, I guess, or Scotiabank maybe. And they'll do their interviews all day. We'll hear from Darko. We'll hear from Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, Jakob Poeltl, Brandon Ingram. Hopefully we'll hear from the rookies since they didn't get their chance to talk. Colin Murray-Boyles, Elijah Martin. And, then we'll hear from Bobby the day after probably talking about. We'll miss Masai. And, they're going to do their interviews next Monday. They'll get on a plane that afternoon, and they'll be in Calgary on Tuesday. And then Tuesday, they'll start their training camp. Other teams have started their training camps already. New York Knicks starting their training camp yesterday. The Raptors are unofficially already on training camp. They've been here in town, a lot of them already, for at least a week already. And some of them going to the Blue Jays game. They've been sighted around the city. And, they've been working out already. They've been doing training camp stuff already. Scotty proclaiming on his Instagram yesterday that summer's over, BMAC, and thank you, Sensei, for your training this summer. Brian Macon at the Cube. Yeah, so that's where they're at. It's next Monday is when the media day will start. Shaq Lindsay, thank you for your support. Fiercey Salsera is saying, good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. Fire top 4, baby. Yeah, you know what? Speaking of rankings, once again, let's do the stupid delving in with ESPN since they put out the top 50 minus the top 10. So we've got 50 through 11 to look at real quick and talk about how stupid it is. Kristaps Porzingis is number 50, newly acquired by Atlanta Hawks. Rudy Gobert is 49. Mikal Bridges is 48. Joel Embiid is 47. And I like this because, listen, Joel was 8 last year, and now he's 47. Yeah, y'all might want to put him back down further. Could we switch him for RJ? Could you put RJ at 47 and put Joel Embiid at 100? Maybe. Maybe you could put Joel at 77, and we'll put Brandon at 47. That would be more accurate. Joel Embiid, 47. Jamal Murray is 46. Jared Allen is 45. I don't agree with how many Cavaliers are in the top 50. I'm just going to say that right now. I do not agree with it at all. Jared Allen is not a top 50 player. Jalen Johnson getting way too much respect being at 44. Larry Market, 43. Julius Randle's 42. OG Anunoby is number 41 on ESPN Top 100 going into the season right now. OG, I'm not going to hate on that. From 51 last year to 41. I'm not going to hate on that. I can't hate on our guy OG. I want our guy OG to get higher and higher. If you're going to put him at 41, I won't be upset, ESPN. That's very nice of you to do that. Now, give some more respect to Scotty Barnes and other people. That's right. Aaron Gordon is 40th, which I don't agree with. I don't think Aaron Gordon, I think he's a role player. I don't think he's a special player in the least. You could put Nikola and Jamal Murray in the top 50, but Christian Brune and Aaron Gordon and Jonas Valanciunas, what the hell are y'all doing? Y'all are kissing the Nuggets' ass, putting all these extra Nuggets on there. There's only 2 Nuggets that are in the top 100 players in the NBA, and that's Murray and Jokic. The rest of these guys are jokers. They shouldn't be in this. Aaron Gordon's close. Maybe he should have been 100 or maybe just on the cusp. I'm sorry. He's not a top 100 player in the league. Desmond Bane is not a 39th best player in the league. This is ridiculous. Y'all think Desmond Bane is this good just because he got traded to Orlando? Come on now. 39th. You jumped him from 60th to 39th. He's not gonna be so much greater on Orlando. And y'all putting all these Orlando Magic in the top 100 don't make no sense either. They're gonna bump head. You don't think Franz, Paulo, Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, all these guys are going to bump heads. And there's, the other thing is these guys don't fit together right. Desmond Bane's the same as Jalen Suggs, and Franz Wagner's the same as Paulo Banchero. Orlando's going to be weird, man. I'm telling you right now, they weren't right last year, and I think they're not going to be right this year either. And it's partly because their players don't fit, because Franz is too similar to Banchero, and now they got Bane coming out there to play with Suggs, and those guys are basically the same player, honestly. All right, let's keep going. Darius Garland is 38th. See, they're going to put all four of the big four for Cleveland in the top 40, which is ridiculous. Amen Thompson is 37. A little bit too soon to put him that high, guys. A little too soon. Ivica Zubac was not ranked last year, but all of a sudden they put him at 36. I don't get that. De'Aaron Fox, 35. Nah, man, he's going to get lost in the shuffle in San Antonio. He's not going to look so great over there because there's going to be other guys overshadowing him, namely Castle and Wemby and even Dylan Harper. So, yeah, De'Aaron Fox, I don't understand this. Y'all, come on now. This is at 34, which is fair. John Morant has gotten 33. What has he done for me lately, Janet Jackson? Where's John Morant keep getting in the top 40 players in the NBA when this man has barely played in the last 5 years because of suspensions and injuries? Why the hell do y'all keep giving grades just to people for essence? You know what? You should be giving people ranks for showing up. There should be a factor in. Zion and John Morant should not be ranked as high as y'all rank them because these men just don't show up and play. So I don't get that. Franz Wagner is 32. So we haven't heard Scotty yet, so that's good. At least Franz isn't over Scotty. Jaren Jackson Jr. is 31. Scotty is 30th. They picked Scotty as the 30th best player in the NBA this year. That is up 5 spots from his rank last year at 35. So he's jumped up 5. That's the right direction. And I like that he's a top 30 player in the NBA as they see it now, which is fantastic. They're saying this about our guy Barnes. An all-star for the first time at age 22 in the 2023-2024 campaign. Barnes took a step back last season. I disagree. He couldn't maintain his career-high 34% three-point shooting. Well, he had a broken hand, slipping to 28% behind the arc and bringing his career mark to 30%. Those threes were necessary to propel Barnes' efficiency to league average levels. On the plus side, Barnes' usage rate, 27%, was the highest of his career. Having recently turned 24, Barnes should have more development ahead of him, as well as more help with the addition of Brandon Ingram. That's Kevin Pelton. Signature stat, Barnes, 1,000 points, 50 blocks, and 50 steals in each of his 4 seasons is tied with Chris Bosh for the most in Raptors history. Yeah, there you go. And they're projecting him to average about 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. So that's the fantasy projections for Scotty Barnes at number 30. I thought he'd be in the 40s. So I'm very happy that they've got him at 30. So good job with that. This is fair. Now, you're going to see some of the rankings later on in this, and I'm going to be like, what the hell are they doing? Trae Young is ranked number 29. Tyrese Maxey is number 28 above Scott. I'm going to say this right now. Y'all going to put Tyrese Maxey at 28, and you're not going to even put Emmanuel Quickly in the top 100. You're all going to look bad by the end of the year. Y'all are going to look bad by the end of the year for sleeping on Quickly and not putting Quickly in the top 100 ESPN, okay? You're going to find out. Cat is number 27, Karl Anthony Towns. Player for the Celtics is 26. That's just the kissing the green ass of the leprechaun to put Derek White at the 26. He's better than Scotty Barnes. You're going to tell me Derek White is better than Scotty Barnes? You are crazy. You are crazy. You are crazy. Derek White may be more accomplished and maybe in the league longer, but Scotty Barnes is a better player than Derek White all around. You know that's true. Alperen Sengun is number 25. Chet Holmgren is number 24. Yeah. James Harden is number 23. Pascal Siakam is number 22. He went up from 42 to 22. So you get the finals, you do certain stuff, start to get some of the recognition. You know, we've been saying for a couple of years, Siakam is a top 20 player in the NBA. I still believe that. In some ways, I think he might even be top 15. But they're getting closer to figuring that out. He's at 22 now this year. So Siakam, good job getting the respect, demanding it. Bam Adebayo is number 21. Kawhi Leonard is number 20. Yeah, this may be a little too soon to make this ranking, ESPN. I know you're trying to do good cover in the media for Steve Ballmer to try and cover up his mess. But, you know, maybe Kawhi be ranked this year because maybe he shouldn't be playing this year. Come on now. Y'all put him at 20. You actually brought him up 2 spots from last year. You had him 22 last year. You put him at 20 this year. ESPN, you're so defiant against reality and the truth by forcing the perception of the Clippers and the Kawhi Leonard that Steve Ballmer wants you to. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Jaylen Brown is number 19. Jimmy Butler is number 18. Paulo Banchero is number 17, which is insulting to me. Once again, I'm ranked against Scott. That's messed up. Devin Booker is number 16. Okay. Donovan Mitchell is number 15. Anthony Davis is number 14. Evan Mobley is 13. I just don't get it. Why are y'all so quick to give stuff to Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham, but not to Scotty Barnes? Oh, because he plays in Toronto? Is that why? Because I'm telling you right now, Scotty's better than both these guys, and you got them at 13 and 12. Cade Cunningham is one of Scotty's best friends, and he's the 12th best player in the NBA, according to ESPN. And last year, he was 67. You know, you guys are going to find out this year with Scott, okay? You're going to find out with all the Raptors that y'all have totally slept on all of us, and we're going to make you pay. And y'all are going to have respect to us in the end, ESPN, and all the rest of the sports media on both sides of the border. That's right. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, the champion, is number 11. Yeah, recency bias. This is crazy. You think that J-Dub from Oklahoma City is the 11th best player in the league? You are on drugs. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. ESPN rankers, you are on drugs. There's some jabroni on Instagram that made a top 100 that Trevor posted in our chat yesterday that did a better top 100 than y'all did. Seriously. And his isn't even that good either. Let's just put it that way. But Jalen Williams at number 11, and that's the end of that. They'll have the other 10. Whoever's missing is the 10, obviously. It's like Luka, Nikola, Giannis, Steph Curry, LeBron. Who else has been missing? Jason Tatum. They'll probably rank him anyway, even though he's hurt. Tyrese Halliburton didn't get ranked, though. You saw that. Tyrese is not going to get ranked. But yeah, they came out with more of the rankings, and Scotty's at 40. No, 30. Scotty's at 30. Scotty's the 30th best player in the NBA, according to ESPN, as of the rankings this morning. Yeah, goofy. Yeah, fiercely saying Tylenol don't play. Savage mode. Yeah, good job, Tylenol. You actually get more business from trolling and making fun of the president. Seriously. In this world today, if you want to have a good business model, you need to make sure that you tell everybody the emperor has no clothes. Because that's the truth right there. Donald Trump is just like that story. The emperor has no clothes. If all the people just wake up and see he's naked and laugh at him, he has no power and he's embarrassed. He goes away in a shame as a failure. That's the moral of that story. The emperor has no clothes. Why is everybody like this? Great. He's not wearing clothes. It's like, oh, no, don't tell him that. Oh, he'll get mad at you. Say, no, just start laughing at him. Ha, 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 little pee-pee. Ha, ha, do that. And then, boom, he has no power. That's the fight against fascism. Is make fun of them, and honestly, advertisers, start making fun of him. In your advertisements, watch your profits come up. Seriously, all you big corporations that are running the world right now, Disney and all y'all, if y'all started turning on Donald Trump, your business would get better. I'll bet you money it would. And that's what you know about money. Well, you want to make more money, make fun of Donald Trump. Your ad campaign will work, and all of a sudden, people will come flocking to you to buy your product. I'll bet you money that would. I'll bet you if there's business insiders in there, it's like, you know what? What's making money? What's hip right now? You know what? We should go after Trump because people hate Trump right now, and we should get on that. And boom, all of a sudden their profits soar. I'm serious. Tylenol might get a bump from this. Seriously. He's misinforming them saying Tylenol causes autism. You're crazy, man. You're messed up, dude. And Tylenol saying release the Epstein files. Hilarious. Randolph is here. Good morning to Randolph Phillips. Blessings to, hang on, it jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get the comment. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. The love of money is a root of all evil. People whose love and heart is all in money piece themselves away with many sorrows. Man, I mean, I'm telling you that, that is a classic story where somebody goes so hard on just trying to make so much money, they just disenfranchise themselves from their loved ones and everybody around them. They become a monster to a degree. I mean, what happened in the last couple of days is a Disney heiress, a young woman who's it's set to be up because she's going to get the Disney fortune. She's in the Disney family. I believe her name's Abigail. I think her name's Abigail Disney or something like that. And she's going to get all the money from Disney because she's related to Walt Disney, right? Well, she said publicly lately that billionaires that do not want to share their wealth with the public and do social programs and give back to people are sociopaths. Now, I want to normalize what this young Miss Disney just said, because I think she's right. I think that we have a mental illness problem on a higher level with the very ultra rich, that they have a mental illness that is called selfish, greedy ass narcissism and dehumanization of the rest of the world in the place of their oversized ego. Because their ego's so big and they feel they're so much more important than everybody else, that they do not look at anybody humanistically anymore. That they just look at people as like human cattle. They look at people as numbers on a piece of paper and black ink. They don't look at the human side. They don't look at the human connections. They don't look at the human feelings. They don't look at somebody as someone's mother. They don't look at someone as someone's son. They don't look at someone as somebody who's a human, has feelings and a life, and they just want to have some sort of like joy in their life. No, these people, they would crush everything that everybody else has just so they can have every single trillion, $billion. That's sociopaths. And young Disney is right. And we need to come up and tell these people, you are mentally ill. You need help, because you are destroying society for your own gain in a way that is just absolutely malignantly narcissistic. And you are also going to destroy the fabric of common decency in society by doing this. It's not the people at the bottom. They have no power. It's not criminals. It's not people living in the parks. It's not the homeless. It's the people who made them homeless. It's the people that would set up the society for so many people to start falling into financial trouble. They're the ones at fault because they've been way too greedy with their systems, gaming the laws, gaming the government, buying the government. And we need to start saying this is enough is enough. You know, there's no perfect system in all the isms. They say communism, socialism, capitalism, all this shit. And I understand capitalism has worked for the most part, but it's been irresponsibly run in the recent 50 years to the ground. Irresponsibly run. You can do something, but if you do it with honor and you do it responsibly, you can do it and it's fine. And capitalism would work if they do it responsibly, but they've been irresponsible with their decisions and how they screw everybody over. It's like they want to cheat at the game. They've been able to cheat at the game, and we've all paid for it. So what we've got to do is either we've got to reform the system of capitalism back to a regulatory setting, which Donald Trump did a lot of damage to that earlier this year with gutting all regulatory systems in the U.S. government. Now we've got to, maybe there's going to be an overcorrection in some ways, because in some ways, look, I'm not all about socialism to a degree, because I feel like socialism is great. And I do want people to be able to have different levels of achievement if they work harder. But we need a floor and a ceiling. We need a floor of universal basic income where everybody gets a certain amount of money so that we can live a regular life. We have to have housing. We have to have food. We have to have clothing. You know, we have to have basic necessities. And if we can get a basic income for everybody, since AI is going to take a bunch of jobs, since these greedy ass motherfuckers don't want to pay anybody correctly, we want to be able to independently live without being serfs underneath huge corporate monoliths. We need to be able to have a universal basic income. And that means a floor income for everybody, just to have their basic needs met. Nothing fancy, nothing flashy. Don't get mad at the grocery store if somebody's using their food stamps to buy some alcohol or some candy or something like that. That's their life, their choices. That's what freedom is. It's just that they, you know, in some ways we can do certain things for addicts. If they go and blow their money all the time on their housing, well, the money could go directly to the housing authority and they don't even touch it, just so they make sure they have a house. There's ways to do the floor. Now, the ceiling is something totally different. You put a ceiling on how much you can earn, and you earn that amount. You won the game. You get the end scene in the video game. Woo, you won Zelda. You get the little fun graphics. You won the game of life. You got to $1 billion. I don't know how much it should be. It probably shouldn't be $1 billion. It should probably be like, I don't know, 700 million, something like that. Is that enough for you? 500 million? Would 500 million be enough for you fucking greedy ass sociopaths at the top? There should be a ceiling. A ceiling. This is the cap. This is the amount you make. You got it. Boom. You got it. You should be able to go do whatever the fuck you want with that amount of money. And then everything you earn on top of that goes right back in the system to public systems, social systems, and to the public. Because honestly, you're blood-sucking leeches that are bleeding society dry by taking all your money, and then you don't even want to pay taxes on top of that. Meanwhile, you're making all of us pay all the taxes for the hospitals, the schools, and the roads, and y'all don't pay jack shit on that, on non-tax profits and millions of dollars. It's messed up, it's wrong, and the system deserves to be destroyed because it is broken. And in some ways, listen, y'all can keep going this way. You can kill all of us off because you're a meat grinder of inhumanity that doesn't give a shit about people or anything like that. You won't have anybody to make money off of anymore, and you'll be just living in your lives with all your shit. Great for you, but you're going to have changed society where you're not going to be able to manipulate and do this forever. You're going to run it to the ground, and at some point, it'll come around and get you too. So either you start building a healthy ecosystem in this economy, it's idiots at the top, or you're going to lose it all anyway. You think you got a gravy train going on, but you cannot run this gravy train forever. It's not sustainable, you idiots. Whether it's sustainable with the humanistic part that I just talked about or the climate part. You're going to continue to run the environment where you're not going to have a planet very soon. And you idiots are going to see just how stupid and short-sighted and greedy and selfish you fucking were in this whole thing. To destroy your own planet just for some made-up monopoly money. We just fucking decided that God we trust. It's bullshit. Money has always been some made-up bullshit that we all have to agree on for it to work. And that's the thing. If it gets so bad, if we have too many loved ones dying, we just opt out of the whole fucking system and say, fuck y'all. We're not doing dollars and cents anymore. We're going back to bartering. We're going back to our own ways, and we're going to opt out of this shit. We're not even going to play your monopoly game anymore. Because these are the options that we have at some point. A general strike, a walking out of economic systems as a whole. If we don't play in their party, they don't play the board game anymore. Because we say, you know what, your money don't mean jack shit in this world. It's just a made-up thing. It's in the computer. It's on a screen. It's on a piece of paper. It's not tangible. It's something we all agree to. Well, we're not agreeing to it anymore because y'all abused it and you were irresponsible about it. So, I mean, I know I went on a rant just now. But maybe some of y'all might want to clip that and put that out there because I feel like what I just said is a very good warning call to the powers that be, called the billionaires, the oligarchs, and the pieces of shit that are running our society into the ground. If you don't listen to what I'm saying, you're going to get what you get either way. You can get what you want right now, as much money as you want in all the world, but it's not sustainable, and you will destroy this world as we know it right now. I'm telling you right now, you want a new world? Well, whatever new world you're shaping, you need the people to do it. That's what I'm going to say right now. That's right. There you go. Boom goes a dynamite. Thank you, Randolph Phillips, for your words of wisdom. He's right. Money is the root of all evil. And if you are praying to that God, well, you're not Christian. You're not Christ-like. You're not a good person. Let's just put it that way. That's right. Trent Reznor was right. Head like a hole. That's right. All right. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to you, Coach Cool Cat. One of my WNBA experts. I am so grateful to see you this morning. It's on 5 days, media day. 5 days, media day. That's right. Kaloy saying stocked up on Tylenol last night. See, look at that. Tylenol burns. Trump was saying release the Epstein files. And Kaloy goes to the drugstore and buys a bunch of Tylenol. Profits are up. There you go. There you go. Disney, you know good business now, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, you found out, didn't you? Didn't you, Disney? Yeah, you found out this week. You found out real quick. That's right. Trevor's saying 11 more days until basketball. That's right. So 5 days till media day, 11 days till Denver Nuggets, Vancouver. Let's go. Let's go. That's right, Trevor. That's right. Actually, is it Vancouver or is it the open practice? I think it might be the open practice at Calgary in 11 days. G saying, of course, OG jumps 10 spots now that he is a Knick. No issue with it except that he would not have happened if you're a Raptor. Yeah, we know this. We know this. And Siakam being at 22. I mean, these things make me feel better. You know, Fred's not even in the top 100. It's kind of messed up, man. I mean, I know he got hurt this week, but in some ways, Fred should be in the top 100. I don't know. They're going to slight people in different ways and different things. Put RJ at 100. Why not? Why not? Where's Emmanuel? Come on now. Come on now. And you're putting backup centers and role players all over the place in that top 100 ESPN. Y'all are messed up, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nako's saying JV was ahead of Yak, which is insane. Yeah. Yeah, Jonas is awesome. We love Jonas. Jonas Valanciunas is a Raptors legend. We'll always love big science. But to tell me that Jakob Poeltl is not as good as Jonas Valanciunas right now, ESPN, you're gaslighting. Jonas is the backup. He's not going to be playing as much now that he's behind Nikola. And Jakob Poeltl is a starting center, and Jakob Poeltl is better than Jonas Valanciunas right now. That's just the damn year. That's right. If they didn't really already know. That's right, Nako. Good to see you, man. Fiercely saying Mercury, we're down by 20 points. Shows you any team can be good if they lock in, focus on fundamentals and defense, i.e., less turnovers, intensity, and focus. Although rooting for the Lynx, I commend the Mercury. Yeah, they did a good job. I'm shocked because I stopped watching that box score and I thought, well, the Lynx are going to win again. But no, Mercury pulled it off, got into the overtime, and took care of business. Good job, Phoenix Mercury. They got a really interesting team there with Sabali and all them. Yeah, they're doing really good. Really, really good. Kaz is saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to Trucker Kaz, our WNBA fantasy champion. That's right. We have one spot left in our NBA fantasy league for this year. We're setting up. We'll do the draft a week from this Sunday. So not this Sunday, but the next Sunday will be our NBA draft for our fantasy league and the Raptor Freak channel this year. I have one spot left. And whoever wants it, that's it. There's only one more chance to get in there. So if you really want to play with Fiercey, Nako, Kaz, myself, Cool Cat, you got to get in there to play. That's right. You got to get in there to play. That's right. And there's Scotty on blast by Fiercey. I love it. Thank you for the emoticons, Nins. Nako saying Bane and Suggs are the same player isn't true. Suggs doesn't have the shooting numbers to be compared to Bane, and Bane's a better passer. Suggs is a better defender. I see them as the same player. They have the same build. They're both undersized shooting guards. They're tough guys. They're more dogged defensive guys and not as good offensively. I know you're saying that Bane's a better three-point shooter than Suggs, but to me, they're very similar. That's just me. That's my perception. I'm just saying what my public perception is that I see very much over the same. In some ways, either way, you got a 6'4" shooting guard in either one of them. 6'4" shooting guard. I like my guards 6'7". So I'm just saying, I mean, y'all can go ahead and go crazy about Desmond Bane going to the Magic. To me, that's like a ho-hum move. It's like it's not going to needle push shit. Seriously. Everybody acting like Desmond Bane going to the Magic's going to needle push them. No, it's not. They're going to be the same. It's just add another extra guy in that whole mishmash of all these guys. I mean, they got Da Silva. They got all these very talented dudes, but for some reason, the plan of what they built in Orlando doesn't make any sense to me. You know, this is the shit they do to us. They look at the Raptors and say, the Raptors don't make any sense to me. What are they doing up there? Well, I'm going to say this about the Magic because they don't make no fucking sense to me. I'm telling you right now, Paulo and Franz have the same weakness, and that's their three-point shooting. And then you got Jalen Suggs, who's a bulldog, and you got Desmond Bane, who's a bulldog. And in some ways, maybe there's slightly different flavors of bulldog, but they're bulldogs still. And they're both 6'4", and they're going to play two. So I'm sorry. I mean, I don't have to respect the Orlando Magic just because everybody's going around trying to, Magic and all this. I don't have to do that. And I can say just how much I'm confused about their roster build and how the fuck they're going to try and win. Because honestly, I'm basing it off of us playing them last year. And when I saw the Raptors play the Magic last year, I saw a team that wasn't connected. I saw a team that didn't make no sense. I saw a team that, like, their stars are weird. And, like, I like Franz a lot. I think Franz is a really good player. But Paulo, I'm like, he's a weird guy. I don't totally get it. I get it. Y'all are trying to really put him ahead of Scotty. But he's not better than Scotty, guys. We're going to see this year. It's going to be more and more true. The Scotty Barnes is way better than Paulo Banchero, Evan Mobley, and Cade Cunningham. We're going to see that this year. That's right. That's right. That's right. Mar Smith's here. Good morning, Mar. Good to see you check back in with the Raptor Freaks. A long-time Raptor Freak watcher, Mar Smith. Good to see you. I'm with G on OG's ranking. Yeah. I like seeing OG get accomplishments. Look, our former Raptors are special in our heart. And OG Anunoby is somebody we really care about and love. And I'm not going to hate on his success that he gets more because he's in a New York market over a Toronto market. I'm be happy for him too. Because, Siakam has made us look good this year. What he did for Indiana last year, and even with Halliburton on the side, man, he really did bona fide our 2019 championship more, and also himself. And that makes himself look good. That makes the Raptors look good. And it makes Masai Ujiri look good too. That's what I'm saying. I love you, Masai. Masai forever. And F you, Ed Rogers III. One finger salute because I'm holding the mic today. Cool Cat saying Siakam not on Raptors team anymore, and his rankings and U.S. exposure keeps going up. See how that works? Yeah. I know how it works. This has always been the case the whole entire 30 years of the Toronto Raptors franchise. They take a special player like Vince Carter to bust through the bubble and get the acclaim and the exposure and the attention from the U.S. market because he's half man, half amazing. And he's up there and he's doing stuff that everybody wants to see. He went viral. In some ways, that's true. That's part of how we got put on the map. Vince Carter was just too good to be ignored. But that's what we fight against up here. In some ways, Scotty's got to do what he's got to do to get through that bubble too. And he will. I believe that. He will. Yeah, you know what? And I'm proud of Siakam. 22 is a fair ranking. I think that maybe he will end up being in the top 20 in the next year or so. So hopefully, ESPN's rankings don't even really matter. Once again, I'm saying this is just some bullshit some idiot white guys in ESPN wrote about what they think about the NBA. And in some ways, these guys are trying to shape perception in the marketing for the league. That's what they care about more. It's not necessarily about the X's and O's and the outcomes on the court and the stats and who actually shows up to play. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard being the 20th best player in the NBA right now. It's more about perception shaping and what they want to shape the product to look like. And they don't really have the product of Toronto Raptors because that's NBA Canada. And that's part of it right there. That's part of it right there. Nako's saying Maxey is a top 25 player at White. Maxey, Sengun, Chet, Bam aren't better than Scotty. Yeah. I mean, Sengun is close. Bam is got the body of work and the longevity that you could make an argument, but those other guys I'll agree with. Maxey, Chet, yeah. White, yeah. These guys aren't better than Scotty. No. Sengun is weird, man, especially since what he just did with Turkey at Eurobasket. You got to give respect to Alprin because he is. I give him more respect than Chet, honestly. I think Sengun is a better player than Chet Holmgren. I'm going to say that right now. And people may say, whoa, Chet Holmgren. Whoa, you think Sengun's better than Chet Holmgren? Yeah, I do. Because the man's got more muscle on him. He's going to be able to play center correctly. And Chet Holmgren can't play center. He's got to play small forward or something like that. This is true. Yeah, Mobley 13. I know. Mobley 13 and Cunningham 12. I know, man. This is the thing. They're very on the offensive to make sure Scotty is sullied. I'm telling you right now. Blackhawks here. Good morning to you, Neil. I love to see the Vince Carter dunking logo. And thank you for supporting the channel, Neil. I appreciate my monthly subscribers. You can see them in green with the logo. And that's the perks you get. You get the illustrious green name with the Raptors logo next to it, the Raptor around the basketball. That's what you get if one of the perks of being a member of the channel. That's right. Fiercely saying, agreed, OG, got the Knicks privilege or any team not being Raptors privilege. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this in some ways. I mean, in some ways, you know what? We don't care. Like I said, I only look at this to understand the perception they're trying to portray and put on us so that we can understand exactly what other fans around the league and other teams think and why they have their narratives about what they may think about our team. Is it shaped by people like Kevin Pelton, Tim Bontemps, and those idiots over at ESPN? It's shaped by them. They shape it. They shape it right there. That's right. Trevor J saying yesterday, New York City dropped the bomb on the giant billboards. Donald Trump and his friend saying sex predator. Okay. Now, Trevor, you're not going by the rules. I told you I don't want to do politics as much anymore. I seriously don't. We don't need to talk about Donald Trump every day. He'd love that because he's a malignant narcissist and he wants everybody to talk about him. He wants everybody to praise him and appreciate him and love him. Oh, great leader. We love you. Woo, woo, woo. Kiss your orange ass. Fuck that, you piece of shit. No, I'm glad they did that, Trevor J. But once again, man, I'm asking respectfully, limit the political stuff in here. In some ways, I don't really want to talk politics as much anymore on here. We'll talk about some of the stuff that's important, but this isn't that important. This is not important. The Jimmy stuff was important because that's big time free speech stuff. The Tylenol thing is kind of funny, but in some ways, once again, I said, I don't want to perpetuate lies and misinformation about Tylenol and autism like the president is doing irresponsibly, like an idiot and a low IQ, low class individual. So, I mean, seriously, stop bringing his name in here and stop talking politics with me. Seriously, I don't want to do it. If there's something really important, like you said, a bomb, dropped a bomb. You mean was a bomb go off in New York? No, you're saying they put an advertisement up. I don't care. And some of his U.S. politics can go to hell right now. It is going to hell. All right, let's keep going. Seymour saying, what a blow to Houston losing Fred. I know it sucks, Sheriff. It sucks, man. I hate it. And I hate it for Fred. I hate it for his family. In some ways, I hate it for the Rockets. I do. In some ways, it's weird, man. Like, I kind of like the Rockets since Fred went there. Like, obviously, I'm a big Fred fan, and Fred going there, and I'm kind of starting to like Sengun, like I was talking about just now. Their coach isn't as annoying when he doesn't wear green. There's a lot of different things, and in some ways, Smooth that won me over on the whole Kevin Durant thing, and like, wow, this could be fun seeing Durant play with the Rockets this year. But this is going to be really hurting them because, once again, Fred is that captain that makes that team smart and win. They were not like that until he showed up. They were a bunch of loose cannon youngsters who were just goofing off and not trying to do anything correctly. Jalen Green and Jay Sean Tate. And now Fred's come in there and cleaned them up and got them running shipshape, and they're second in the West last year. But not having Fred out there this year is going to hurt. It's going to hurt the Rockets' chances. I really believe that. That's right. Kaz saying, I agree with Gerald. Bane and Suggs are not the same player, in my opinion. Well, maybe I'm minimalizing them to a degree. You guys are probably right. Bane is a better three-point shooter than Suggs, and Suggs is a better defender. But to me, I see their height. I see their short-ass arms. I see their same kind of attitude and their competitiveness, and I see the same player. I'm going to do this. I can do this. They're going to do this to us. They're going to denigrate or put us down on base levels. I'll do the same thing the other way. So, all right, you got two tough guys that have chips on their shoulders that look angry all the time, that run around at people. That's what I see. One of them is a little bit more three-point shooty, and the other one is a little bit more angry. That's what I see. Yeah, that's what I see. I mean, we can disagree. You guys can think this, and we can have different perceptions. That's what's great about freedom. That's what's great about democracy. That's what's great about living in a world that we want to live in, and not the world that Trump wants to live in, where his way is the only way and perspective is only his. No, Gerald and Kaz want to have a different perspective than me about Desmond Bane and Jalen Suggs. That's what freedom is. And I'll allow it. I'm not a dictator. No, you guys have to believe what I believe. Jalen Suggs and Desmond Baines are twins, and they're exactly the same. You guys get out of here if you're not. I'm going to throw you in jail if you don't agree with me. That's fascism. That's fascism right there. No, you guys can disagree with me. I'm not like that. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Blackhawk saying if AI takes the jobs, then the rich will be impacted because the middle income and lower income earners fuel the economy. Exactly. I mean, I feel like these guys aren't really smart economists. I mean, seriously, y'all can't kill all the cows and still be mosquitoes feeding off the blood of the cows, you dumbasses. If you kill all the cows in the field, the mosquitoes have carcasses to feed off of, and that's not fresh blood. You have blood-sucking oligarch pieces of shit. Why do you not get this? You need healthy economy. You need healthy middle class. You need healthy families and things going on, so they'll go out and buy your products because they have disposable income. But if you're bleeding everybody dry to the absolute minimum, who the hell is going to go out and buy frivolous shit that you guys want to sell? Seriously, I'm an anti-consumer. I live my life more and more to the point where I try not to spend money on frivolous products. Part of the thing that they've done to people is they get you to go to Walmart or Costco and just buy random shit that you didn't even intend to buy. Stop doing that. Seriously, be very conscious of what you're buying. In some ways, you're going to have to, because money may be tight and you can't buy all the extra shit in the impulse buys before. Anti-consumer movement is very powerful and strong, and it can work more and more. You limit how much you buy stuff. That's better in some ways because you'll have more money. You're more disciplined with what you're buying, and you're buying what you need and not just what you want. So, I mean, I've been already kind of anti-consumer tip for 15 years. In some ways, I'm very limited. I'm not trying to overspend on stuff like they try and encourage people and agitate them. Oh, spend, more spend. No. I'm a minimalist. I'm about reuse, recycle, and all that kind of stuff. I'm about like, well, do I really need to buy this? Could I borrow this from a neighbor who has this? Could I do this? There's ways to, cut down on your spending and, collective stuff. There's little stations in Europe where if you have something that's broken, they have tools out there and you can walk over and just fix it. And it's a free public service, shit like that. I'm just saying we need to limit our spending in some ways. In some ways, if you can find ways to be more anti-consumer and stop consuming so much, do it. Plant your own food, make your own food, grow your own food, eat it, your own food. I'm just saying it's that kind of stuff. And Blackhawk's exactly right. Oligarchs, your plan don't work if you don't have anybody to parasite off of. Seriously, your plan don't work if you don't do that. You're just going to look for other people around the world to parasite off of. Okay. I mean, you're going to run out of people at some point. It's the defensive anchor and primary ball handler, while Bane is the team's new offensive weapon and shooter. Yeah. I mean, I like your descriptors for it, Kaz, and this is all with due respect. But, once again, these are just labels and things. So it's like, yeah, I can see Suggs defensive anchor. I mean, he's a dogged defender and he's annoying, but in some ways he's very limited offensively. And in some ways, I don't see how he was in the top 100 of ESPN's top 100, because honestly, he's like a top 200 player in the league. I don't see him as being that high level. I think they touted him so much in the draft with Scotty, and he was a bust after that. And I don't understand why they're still trying to bring him up and put him up there. It's not like this man's going to be a 20-point scorer. It's not like this man is anything but a glorified role player on defense is what he is. That's what Jalen Suggs is. Desmond Bane is a more well-rounded player. I agree he should be in the top 100, but he shouldn't be in the top 50. He should be like around 78 or 80 or something like that. He should probably be in Brandon's spot, and Brandon should be flipped with him. You put Desmond Bane at 77 and put Brandon Ingram at where they put Desmond Bane. Because, listen, Brandon Ingram's an all-star. Brandon Ingram's a most improved player. Brandon Ingram's a number 2 pick in the draft. Desmond Bane is not as good as Brandon Ingram. And that right there, you can agree with me on that, right, Kaz? Like, if you look at the longevity and the career of Brandon Ingram, what he's done offensively and who he is, it's as much as Bane is a great offensive 3-point shooter and certain things he does well, Brandon Ingram's a better player than him. And I mean, I would say that. Neil saying money will always have value, because get out of your own head, Neil, for a second. If we all decided tomorrow that we don't value or put God and trust in the currency, the tender that we use, we could walk away from it if we all collectively decided to. That's the thing. It's all bullshit made up, seriously. And that's the thing. Some people hear me say this and be like, whoa, Lex, that could never happen. Bullshit. If they push us far enough with misery and sadness and death, we could do this, Neil. Trust me. If we have to, we could get to another level and a new system beyond this system that is nothing like the system of money. Seriously. When people are desperate and they're in really bad positions, they will change and make big changes. Trust me. And, we may feel comfortable right now, but there's a very good chance that in the next 10 years, our lives are going to become more and more uncomfortable for different reasons. And we may have to do things in a very collective way to make change go in the right direction again. And this is an option that's on the table. A general strike is another one, where everybody walks off their job all at once and we stop the system. We stop everything from going. Trucks don't move, trains don't move, people don't come to work to make food. Everything just stops. That's the power we have as the collective, shown last week with Disney and Jimmy Kimmel. That's one way we can wield our power, but don't get it twisted. We have other ways. And don't let your conditioning of how you were raised and brought up to think about society and stuff to tell you that what I just said is not possible. Because the conditioning that they put you through in society, whether it's in school, whether it's with your family, whether it's with your church, whether it's with whatever group, with TV, media, that's conditioning. And they conditioned you to think that this is the only possibility, the only reality that we live in. So yeah, don't get it twisted. We can change things up real quick as a collective, as a whole, the power of the people. And we make the rules. That's the thing. We are only allow these people to be our representatives because we voted for them and they're supposed to represent us. But when they stop representing us, well, we come take the power back. And then we're already there. Doug Ford does not represent us with things like Therme and Ontario Place and trying to run roughshod through projects that he just decides we're going to do and he doesn't consult anybody else. That's not representing the people. That's him utilizing his office for his own ill-gotten gains by making sweetheart deals with his favorite friends and enriching them. And on the side, he's getting something too. So, let's not get it twisted, Neil. Just because you're deep in your society, well, let's decondition you, man. Let's teach you there are things that maybe you think are true and just always going to be true. Well, they don't have to be. No, they don't. No, they don't. Mankind is caught up with things. They can be, but you know what? When it's cushy and easy and you have all kinds of luxuries, first world problems, when you start changing that and you start having to worry about things like, oh, my Aunt Edna just died and she didn't have to die. We didn't have health care anymore because they cut our health care. This is going to happen in the United States because of the Medicare cuts. People are going to have family members die and they're going to be more upset and they're going to be more radicalized in the way that I'm talking right now. So misery begets revolution. And if they're going to squeeze all the blood from a stone and everybody's going to be dry, there's going to be repercussions. And the people that are left, the people that haven't died, the people that are miserable and sad because everything's gone to shit, they will rise up and do what they have to do. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm not talking about next month. I'm talking about the next 5 to 10 years. And Neil, don't think that this could happen very soon. The expedition of going into fascism and fucked up totalitarian bullshit in the United States is well on its way this year. And things can change really, really fast, especially when those Medicare cuts start hitting and people start dropping dead and people start getting radicalized because they lost loved ones they didn't have to lose because of the greed of the oligarchs. So yeah, you can go ahead and kiss the ass of the system and say, oh, the system's important. It's always going to be this. Don't count your chickens because things will change. Watch. Things are going to change a lot in the next couple of years. 2027 is going to be a big year, guys. It's going to be a very big year. You got to get ready for 2027. And I mean, get self-sufficient and get more reliant for yourself. If you rely on society for so many different things, you're going to be in trouble because society could very well collapse. And you're going to need to be able to take care of yourself. Just saying. I have foresight. I can see things clearer. I can see things in patterns. I can see things coming. And in some ways, I'm warning y'all. And you can take me as seriously as you want. That's your choice. That's your choice. Let's see. Get rid of money and man will replace it with another thing. Before money, the thing was gold, silver, jewels. Yeah, I would say the initial thing will be more of a bartering system. In the beginning, it could, you're right. It will be some sort of thing like a currency, but that's the thing that's why it says in God we trust on our money is because we have to trust that it's valuable as a whole and a collective. If we all decide it's not worth anything anymore, like if we just decide, you know what, Jeff Bezos, good job, Elon, you're a trillionaire. We don't care. Your money is worthless because we've all decided it isn't worth anything. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? That would be hilarious. He'd be going around spending money and everything, but most of it would say, you know what? We don't take this anymore. We have our system. Your money's worthless here, Elon. Wouldn't that be so hilarious if we turned the tables on the oligarchs and everybody else and said, you know what? Your money ain't worth jack shit in this world anymore. We're making a new world order and a new money system. And it's for the people, and we're going to control it from the bottom. And y'all can have your play money, your monopoly money, your Milton Bradley money. And you can be, oh, I have all this. And you can go ahead and go around and use all your resources and do all that. This may not sound realistic to y'all, but you know what? In theory, in practice, if you saw it happen in real life, you'd be like, holy shit, Lex was right. We could do this. Seriously. All right, let's keep going. Seymour's saying celebrities, politicians, OnlyFans, and athletes run the world of illusions. That's not who runs it. The people who run it, you don't know anything about them. Peter Thiel is who runs it. You want to know who runs it? Peter Thiel. Of that gross, disgusting person. He is the one who's the puppet master right here. He's the one who made all this shit happen in the United States this past year. Project 2025, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, JD Vance. It's all Peter Thiel. And the other people like him. There are other oligarchs, ultra rich people that are evil, and they just have some really fucked up ideas about common people. And yeah. That's them. These other people are just like entertainers in the middle of it. Celebrities, OnlyFans, and athletes. They're the distraction. Politicians are pawns. Politicians are bought and paid for. They're basically like servants to the oligarchs. So, yeah, Seymour saying this: if you can see through the smoke, the fog, you will be fine. Don't get mad, get smart. Exactly. Exactly. We all need to be more self sufficient and more independent in different ways. That's why I'm telling y'all get into gardening, grow your own food, because you may thank me later. It may be the difference between you starving to death and not. Seriously, these food lines are going to run out at some point because, well, first of all, the American farmers have been hit hard because of tariffs and Donald Trump, and there's going to be supply line issues. Think about how things happened with COVID and when things shut down and things couldn't get to certain places. There were log jams and bottlenecks with supply line issues, and that changes costs and prices. And this kind of shit's going to happen majorly because everything Trump's doing is economically disruptive and difficult. And that's by design in some ways. Like the plan for his people, like Peter Thiel, is to kill as many people possible in the next couple of years. They want black people to die. They want poor people to die. They want immigrants to die. They want trans people to die. They want everybody to die except for the people that are like them, that are rich, that will be insulated. They don't care if they lose people. If they lose people by the thousands every day, they won't care. In some ways, they're stupid because of what we talked about. You need the people to make the money off them and exploit them. But they're about this at this point. They really are all about letting a lot of unnecessary death come. And because everything they're doing politically in the government is for that, whether it's cutting Medicaid, whether it's cutting funding for kids' school lunches, whether it's cutting funding for older people in their retirement homes. There's all kinds of crazy shit that's going to happen. We have an aging population where there's going to be more and more old people because life expectancy's gone up, but it's going to go down. And it's a real mess. It's a demographic mess because our age pyramid is very high up now. And this is not the time to be cutting medical and services for elder people right now. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of unnecessary deaths, just like during COVID. There's a lot of unnecessary deaths in the United States because of misinformation and idiocy. So, yeah, let's keep going. Let's see. Kaz is saying, I think you're severely underrating Bane's impact on the offensive end, Lex. Maybe. I mean, listen, I don't have to respect Desmond Bane. I like Desmond Bane. He's a good friend of Darko's. And in some ways, I respect some of the things he does, but I don't have to respect him. It's my right. I would say this: the Memphis Grizzlies have had a lot of good players on their teams when Desmond Bane was successful, and that in some ways he was better because of his teammates like John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks, and people like that made him look good. I think when he goes to Orlando, he may not look as good. You guys, I can tell y'all are fans of him. I'm not a fan of his exactly, but I'm just trying to give a counterpoint. I don't know if this Bane to Orlando thing is as great as everybody thinks it is. Everybody's tooting their horn, like saying, oh, this Orlando getting Desmond Bane so huge. I don't think it's a needle pusher. I seriously don't, guys. And when we see this season, Kaz, we'll revisit this. And we'll say, oh, you know what? Lex was right. Desmond didn't really have that much of an impact coming to Orlando. That's what I think is going to happen, guys. And we'll just have to see. And we'll see what's right there. Yeah. Seymour's saying, yeah, Baines can cook. Don't sleep on him. I don't disagree that he can make some three-point shot. He's still undersized for his height. And in some ways, I don't have to respect him like you guys do. That's just it, man. That's it. Seymour's saying Brooklyn Nets Media Day had me dead. A bunch of NBA 2K players created value at 60 tops. Yeah, that was a funny meme somebody put out. They did the Brooklyn Nets Media Day, and somebody said that the Nets are basically all the create a character 60 rating players on the 2K game that you kind of just fill out the roster with. That's not that far off, especially since Cameron Johnson's gone. Yeah, they have a team of nobodies. And absolutely, you asked me yesterday, Trevor, who's the worst team in the East? It's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn. Washington's got some promising young talent and people like George and Koulibaly. But Brooklyn, they're going to be bad. I feel bad for Jordy. They're going to be even worse than they were last year. Seriously, they're going to be even worse than they were last year. We love you, Jordy Fernandez, former coach of Canada. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Seymour's saying Magic's only weakness is the 5. Wendell Carter Jr.'s butt hurt. No, their weakness is they have too much duplicity and similarities. And their 2 superstars can't shoot threes. So where the hell are they going to go with that? They're two superstars. They're two main important players are not good three-point shooters. Where the hell are they going to go with that? I'm telling you, man, we don't have to talk up the Magic just like everybody else is. Let's give them a little bit what they give to the Raptors. That's what I'm doing here, seriously. And I'm probably right, honestly, guys. Everybody's too quick to say the Magic are going to be a top team in the East right now. They're too quick on that. I'm not believing this bullshit. I'm not believing it. And you think the Magic's only weakness is Wendell Carter? No, 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 no. No, they've got problems. Seriously, you guys remember when we played them last year? They looked disorganized. They didn't look together, and they looked really bad. They looked like one of the worst teams in the East when we played them a few times. Maybe we saw them at a wrong time of the year, but I wasn't impressed with them when the Raptors kicked their ass this year. And we should have won them both the games. It's just Josh Tiven took that one shot against them away. It was kind of bullshit, man. Let's see. Fiercely saying that's unfortunate for Jordy having to coach them. Darko was fortunate enough to have quality roster and players making sense in their thought process and also good characters. Darko's had difficult first 2 years in the Raptors. He'd like to win more. In some ways, we've had good rosters. We just haven't had good health. Well, the thing with the Nets is they just don't have good roster. They could have good health and they're still going to be bad because their talent on paper is just not good enough. There's a lot of opportunities for a lot of these young players to make a name for themselves. Let's just see if any of them do it. I don't think any of them will. I really don't. I think that Nicholas Claxton, and that's it. I don't know who else they got on their team as far as a quality player. Seriously. And even Claxton, is that it? That's it. It's crazy. That's crazy. Kareem Thomas saying this is a prove it year for the Raptors. I don't give a shit about their rankings. When we finish top 5 in the East, our starting 5 will be top 50. Book it. There you go. I like that. That's right. ESPN's rankings don't mean jack shit. Once again, I'm just checking in to see where the perception is right now in the league and where people think things are and stuff like that. I agree with this, man. We're going to do things. We're going to prove things. This is an important year for the Raptors. It's important for the players. It's important for the coach. It's important for Bobby to show Keith Pelly and Ed Rogers we're on the right track. And, don't mess with us. Don't try and over manage us. Let us do what we're doing. We're good at what we're doing, and we're on the right path, and we're going towards the second Larry O'Brien championship for the Toronto Raptors. So that's what we need to see this year. I'd love to see between 450 wins. Over 42 would be the best because I want a winning season. That's right. Cool guy saying lots of ACL injuries in basketball sports. What's going on? Overuse of muscle groups? I don't know. I mean, we saw Fred this summer doing a couple of varied things. Like I seen him jumping off boats and catching lobsters. I seen him, doing weightlifting in the pool. This is something I've seen Jaylen Brown do also under the water at the bottom of the pool, carrying around big, huge, heavy weights, walking around under submerged in the water with scuba gear on. It's crazy, Jaylen Brown. It's cool, man. It's a cool workout, but it's very different. But I see Fred walking around the pool doing hydro kind of weightlifting where he's got the heavy ball and he's in the water and he's using his muscles in the water, and the water is some of the resistance. I don't know. I think that, these kind of things with these injuries can be just freak accidents or flukes. I don't think it's any more or less than it has been. Cool cat. If you're trying to say ACL problems are on eyes, I don't agree with that. I think that this is just the consistent level of ACL tears that we've had basically since I've watched basketball. I mean, you can go back to Danny Manning. You can go way back to different problems, knee problems and stuff like that. So the issues are still there. And I don't know if it's any more or less. If I had stats and could look at it and see the trends, maybe I'd see something. But I don't think this is an increase or anything like that. I think this is just standard business for injuries in this department and the amount of them. So I would say that. Let's see. Seymour saying Fred and KD would have been must-watch ball, but it's sad, man, because they both don't have time to waste. Damn, what could have been? Yeah, it sucks. It's not a good thing for the Rockets. It's not a good thing for Fred. It's not a good thing for Kevin. It's not a good thing for any of them, for sure. It is. I hope that Fred can get healthy. I hope that the Rockets do not hair trigger trade him because of this, and that he does get a chance to still circle back and play with Durant. I'd like to see this, partly because of the 2019 championship and the battles between KD and Fred and all that, That would be awesome. Trevor Jason, I put a picture of Ingram with the new look in his hair in the chat. Yeah, I want to go look at that. I'm going to do a reaction to this because Brandon Ingram apparently has long hair right now, and he's got like a little bit of dread action going on. Pretty cool. Posted something about Precious. It looks like Precious got picked up by the Heat. Let's see. Brandon Ingram shows off new look heading into 2025-2026 season. Yeah, he's got the hair straightener on it. And he's looking like Andre 3000 in the Hey Ya. Oh yeah, okay. I see what's going on. LeBron James talking trap. LeBron James said this about Brandon Ingram. He's about to join Bone Thugs and Harmony. And Kuzma saying, "Oh no, dead." Why can't that man straighten his hair out and look like Andre 3000? There's nothing wrong with this. He can do this, right? All right. So Precious is signed with he has. All right. So breaking news: Precious Achua has signed with the Miami Heat to a 1-year deal. So good to see Precious has landed on his feet. He's going back to where he was drafted. He's going to be down there, Norman, on Miami Heat this year. So good job, Achua. I'm glad to see that you actually got on a team. Fantastic, Trevor. You just broke that news just now. I see that. All right. Yeah. Brandon Ingram. I don't think he's going to have his hair like that in the game. No. No, I don't think he will. Shaq Lindsay saying capitalism breeds sociopaths. How else do the rich get richer? And AI will only make it impossible for reform. Well, that's why I'm saying, like, everybody, like Cool Cat's always saying, well, we need to vote to fix this. The system's broken. Voting don't mean jack shit. They control the politicians. They pay and buy them. And, you can vote for a politician that you agree with and you think is awesome. And then they stab you in the back in office. And they just make votes for whoever big money, wealthy contributor wants. So I'm just saying the system is broken because money is involved in the politics. It's whether it's buying commercials, whether it's buying candidates. There's all kinds of ways that money has just corrupted the government system. There were rules before, Citizens United, that were keeping this at bay and stopping it. But once Citizens United went in United States, it destroyed their political system. It was not a true democracy anymore after that. It's a country that's run by corporations who buy and pay for politicians through lobbyists and control and money and funds, campaign funds. That's what it is. So to fix the system, we either got to tear it down. That's probably it. Because, like, honestly, if you try to reform the system through the systems of the system, there's going to be stoppages and blocks, and they will never ever let you get real or meaningful change. So it's got to be upended and restarted. It's got to be scratched. It's got to be thrown out and maybe rebuilt is what it's got to be. And yeah, AI is going to make this all accelerated. That's the thing. These guys are sociopaths to the 10th degree because they are joking and happy that they get to fire thousands of people and replace them with AI. CEOs aren't even hiding it. They're like, I wish I could fire more people and replace them with AI. This is what's going on at the top, y'all, right now. And we need to get out ahead of it. That's why in some ways we don't play their games. We don't play their board game. We don't sit down at the table with their Milton Bradley money. We can get more of our power back and we can create our own systems independent of them. It may be difficult. It may be very hard. It will be very grassroots. It will be very kind of old school in a lot of different ways. Some people may be out there churning butter and doing shit like that, like your grandparents did, and you forgot how to do. That's part of the system too. Why don't they teach kids how to grow food? And because they want you to be dependent on the system. Our grandparents were much better off for what's coming up than we are because they were still out there doing some of the stuff that they taught us not to do anymore. So we need to get back on it. The farmers and people like that, they know, and we need to do it. We need to do it. We're going to have to. That's right. We're going to have to one way or another. Let's see. Trevor's saying Precious agreed to 1-year deal with Miami. All right. Thank you. Nako's saying Suggs is a starter. Bain is a high-level starter. BA is an all-star. I don't even think Suggs is a starter. See, you guys are overranking the Orlando Magic in your own minds. Now, remember, I was a Magic fan, and the original Magic came out. When they had the expansion team come out in 1989, I was an original Magic fan. I have a lot of respect for that franchise, but I don't right now. You guys think they're way better than I do. I'm just saying, and we'll see how it goes down this year. You guys, if Orlando is like the top team in the East, I'll be like, okay, Gerald and Kaz were right. But if they are not as good as everybody thinks they are, and they're more around the play-in, or just barely. Like they won't be a playoff team. I'll bet you. Watch. It'll be a play-in team, and they'll be like somewhere in that area. I don't think they'll fall out of the playoffs, but I think they'll be a play-in team. So remember that. Remember Lex said Magic are a play-in team. All right, remember that. Bi is an all-star. I like that. I don't think Suggs is a starter. I think he's a bench player, a role player as a defensive bulldog off the bench. Bane is a starter. I don't think he's a high-level starter though. He's just a starter. Shaq Lindsay saying the Chinese are masters of cheap labor, and our answer to it is AI. How do we benefit from this? I don't know. In some ways, like I really do feel like China is winning. Like they're doing things way better than us. In some ways, they're taking climate change seriously, and they're making the changes to be in renewables and all that stuff in the future that we're going to have to switch to anyway. We're dragging our ass because the lobbyists for the big oil are holding back our government from making infrastructure changes so that we can get more into renewables and the green energy that's everybody's going to have to do eventually anyway. So fossil fuel companies are going to make our government invest in more fossil fuel shit now, even though that's a dead industry. And we need to get the fuck away from it. It's all because the money they spent. And they say, no, we got to have this keep going status quo wise. So, China's going to be ahead. They're already ahead because they're doing this way better. India, too. And the United States is stupid. And especially with Trump rolling back a lot of the green stuff that Biden had set up in the last administration. Yeah. And we don't need to be like the US in any kind of way up here, guys, in any facet. Seriously, the US are the worst example of how to be right now. And we need to be our own independent country in Canada and not do things like they do. Our politicians do not need to mimic them like Danielle Smith is. Our energy choices need to be more forward thinking like China and not like the US. We'll benefit for it in the long run better that way. The part of it is green energy causes more jobs and is good for the economy. And there's all kinds of other stuff. But the oil companies have paid a lot of money to put out misinformation and paid a lot of lobbyists to fight against every single step in the green energy that we've done. And whether it's like fighting against electric cars, wind energy, solar energy, whatever it is, they sullied it and tried to make it murky about it doesn't work and all this stuff. Because you know what? Think about it this way. The oil company has something that they want to sell, and they have a status quo lucrative kind of thing going where they can gouge us and they can manipulate their price up and down for profits that they want to make at the time. Now, if we could get the energy without the oil, which we can for free, they hate that because that gives us independence. In some ways, they want us to be dependent on them. And if we could have free energy from the wind or the sun, that's cutting them out and they don't have their gravy train anymore. So can you understand why so many oil profits go towards misinformation to continue the oil industry? Because honestly, that we could get free energy. The sun is free. The wind is free. The water, hydro energy, all this stuff could be done more and more technology to do it. But instead, these greedy bastards want us to continue to pollute our world. And also they want to gouge us for money and make money at the pumps in really weird ways. We could change this, guys. Stop falling for the misinformation about green energy because that oil company's paying for you to believe that. Seriously, right there. Boom goes the dynamite. Let's go. Fiercely saying good for Precious. That's right. I'm glad he finally got picked up. Was he looking like he wasn't gonna? Seriously. James is saying Ingram is a top 20 player if he can be injury free, in my opinion. I like that. I'm gonna give James a dunk for that. That's the kind of talk I want to hear, guys. Stop kissing Desmond Bane's ass, y'all. James is coming correct right here with the right attitude. Brandon Ingram's top 20 when he's healthy. 39 for James. That's right. That's a Raptor freak right there. That's right. That's right. Kaz is saying either way, I'm sure we don't really care about the Magic players. I mean, we'll have to play them. We'll see how it goes. In some ways, I like the disagreements like this because we can come back and check. And like I've said, I've come around like with Cool Cat and the Pacers this year, and I will admit when I'm wrong. And I was wrong. And I said, you were right about the Pacers getting all the way to the finals and doing this. And they are a way better defensive team than I thought mid-season. We had a discussion about it. I said, the Pacers aren't that good defensively. But that was because I was going by what I saw them do against the Raptors in the middle of the season. And remember, the Raptors had a winning record against Indiana this past season. We actually beat them more than they beat us. So and that's once again, I'm not watching all the NBA games. I'm watching the games when the Raptors play the teams. And when I saw the Magic last year, they didn't impress me. Let's just put it that way. They didn't impress me at all. Let's see. Kaz is saying, "Yep, I agree with that, Lex. Ingram is definitely a better player than Bane, though. Well, he's way taller. He has way better skills, and in some ways, there's just way more talent, natural talent. You know what I'm saying? Cream saying, bring back trades as currency. Fuck the paper and save the trees. Exactly. Get yourself a job, a skill like a plumbing job or something like that. If you get some sort of trade and you can trade that in your life, boom, you can get all kinds of stuff and just avoid money. You'd be shocked. Go small town Maybury, Andy Taylor and Opie and Aunt B. And it's just like, oh, I'll come by and I'll fix your fence if you can give me a barrel of apples. Okay, sure. And boom, we get real basic on this. They made life so complicated with all this other shit. We can get back to the basics real quick if we have to. Humanity and civilization has done it many times before. That's right. Fiercely saying W stream, fam. All right, there's my cutoff at 10:30. I got about 40 minutes till 2 hours, and we will try and get done in the next little while. Shaq Lindsay saying, I agree with your take on Orlando. Bane isn't a good passer, and that is a very high field goal percentage. This will be at the detriment of Orlando. You know what part of it bugged me is this whole summer, everybody's acted like Desmond Bane going to Orlando is like one of the biggest monumental moves in the whole NBA offseason. To me, it's okay. It's a good move. I'm not going to say it's a bad move, but it's not a monumental needle pusher. Like everybody's trying to portray it as this. And then you take on the flip side, I know that we got Brandon at the trade deadline in the middle of the season last year, and he's not a new move from the offseason. But the needle pushing of Brandon Ingram on the Raptors is like twice as much as what Desmond Bane is going to do for the Magic. I'm going to say this right now. And that's why I'm pissed off about the Desmond Bane stuff. Is because nobody's giving any respect or any kind of light on the Ingram on Toronto uptick that's going to happen coming up soon. And meanwhile, everybody's going on about how Bane's going to make the Magic so much better. That is why I'm standing on this like this. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Ingram is going to have a bigger impact on the Toronto Raptors this year than Desmond Bane will for the Orlando Magic on wins and everything. That's what I'm saying right now. That's it. James saying politicians are just a front. They don't make big decisions. That's right. Bohemian Grove. There's a bunch of very rich people that are puppet masters meet once a year at Bohemian Grove. And they start talking about what's good for business and what isn't. And you know what? Project 2025 was part of that, what they talked about. And they wanted this shit to happen. They railroaded Donald into office. Elon Musk rigged the election through the voting machines and the satellite to set this up. Kamala actually won, guys. And they had to strong arm this shit because they don't want the power to be in the people's hands. They want to have the power themselves because they see AI coming in. And they see the changes in life with drone technology and all kinds of stuff. And they want a new dystopian future where oligarchs are the overseers and the people that watch the whole society and they, all this kind of bullshit. I'm telling you, man. And James is right. The politicians are part of the tool and maybe they're getting rich and they're part of the problem. Yeah. But the people that they bow to and the people they listen to are Peter Thiel, people like that. That's right. Kareem saying this. All right. Yeah, we got a lively discussion this morning. We're a little heavy on the politics, but it's all right. Desmond Bane may move Orlando from 7 to 6 in the standings. Yeah, maybe. Definitely not a needle pusher. Bane may be a product of his environment. That's another thing I keep saying. The Memphis Grizzlies had a really good vibe a couple years ago, but it was a combination of people together that made that happen. Dylan Brooks, Darko Rajakovic, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, Steven Adams, people like that. When they were all together, it kind of fit and worked because they had enough variety and difference and they were really kind of going somewhere. But Ja screwed it all up, being a knucklehead, playing his pretend gangster life. And that whole thing kind of derailed that period of time and the Grizzlies kind of disintegrated. That's where Desmond Bane looked good. Now, when these guys left, he had to get a bigger role. Ja Morant being out for the Grizzlies, Desmond's had to kind of fill in for him. And that's enhanced his his stats and made him look better in the absence of Ja Morant. This is always the case. Like if there's a good team and a guy sits out, like say this year, Jason Tatum's out. Jaylen Brown's stats are going to go up because Tatum's not around anymore, right? That makes sense. So with Morant being out so much, Baines look better. Let's just put it that way. That's part of it right there. That's part of it right there. Right there. Fiercely saying, do we know if Claxton is still with the Nets? He would be the vet. Yeah, he's the only one there. He's the only one. Jordy said, nah, Claxton has to stay. He's the only one that keeps stability here. So, yeah, Nicholas is still a net. He's still a net. That's right. Kaz saying, I never debated Bane's impact on the Magic. I was just disagreeing about Bane and Suggs being the same player. No, I agree with that. I agree. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to start arguments or anything like that. This is just a part of the format on the channel is I do my gut reaction when I read something. And if it's not exactly what I'm seeing, it's okay. We can have a difference of opinion. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's going to have a huge push to make the Magic that much better. But yeah, I can see what you're saying as far as the two players. I see in some ways I can be very generalistic in the reverse. Once again, Cass, some of what I do to the other teams is what they do to us. I think turnabout is fair play. And if they're going to be minimalistic about Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickley, well, I'll be minimalistic about Desmond Bane and Jalen Suggs. And I'll say, no, they're just the same player. And you can disagree with me. You can go in more deep on it. But to me, they're the same position. They're the same size. And in some ways, their strengths are the same. Defensive, hard-nosed, tough, competitor, dog kind of person. Now, Desmond may have a more developed offensive game, and Jalen may be more of an angry person. But, they're in some ways, they're a lot more similar on the team than most of the other guys are on the team around them. I mean, Desmond Bane's more like Jalen Suggs than Goga or, Wendell Carter or something like that, Let's see. Milbester's here. Good morning to Milbester, the Yankees freak, the Knicks freak. Good morning, Lex. How are you today? Sucks for a torn ACL for VanVleet. Yeah. Hopefully he recovers. Good guy. But Lex, the Jays lost the Red Sox. Yankees postseason berth. White Sox last night. AL East to 1 game. Yeah. Yeah. As Mike was saying in our Discord server last night, Logical Raptors Snag saying the Jays are choking. Yeah, it sucks that they lost the Red Sox last night. The Red Sox are still involved in the postseason chase. And, well, in some ways, the Yankees want a solid from the Blue Jays. Go ahead and get them off the nip and heels of the Yankees and beat the Red Sox in the next 3 games of this series. And then they'll play the Rays, and they're done for the season. Yeah, don't mess around, Blue Jays. You may have got your postseason cinched, but you need to make sure you win the AL East still, too. And don't play with your food. Get the job done, Blue Jays. That's what I say right there. That's right. All right, let's see what else Milbester's saying. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. All right, I'll talk about this because I did hear about this yesterday. He's saying, also, Lex, MLB made history last night. The Joint Competition Committee voted 9-2 to put automatic ball and strike challenge system for 2026 season. The days of arguing balls and strikes is over. This is something that I talked about on this channel a couple of years ago, that they need to get the AI to control the strike zone for baseball. And, well, the push for doing this was on the minor levels already. They've been testing the AI-generated ball placement for balls and strikes in baseball, and it's been working. And, well, they're going to put it in the MLB this year. Now, it's going to be similar to the NBA with the challenge system. They're not going to use it all the time. It's not going to be something that's just going to read where the ball is every pitch that's thrown. It's going to be a thing where if there's a dispute between the ump and the manager of the team, they can do a challenge, just like in the NBA. And the umpires will go to the side and use the AI to find the placement of the pitch. And that's what I'm hearing that's going to be. But they very thoroughly researched using this system on lower levels, and they're ready to bring it to the Major League Baseball. So that's very, very interesting. Milbester is exactly right. This is huge. In some ways, you could see this applied to the sport of basketball with out-of-bounds plays. If there's some sort of laser technology or something that can sense where the ball is or somebody is, they may be able to adjudicate on out-of-bounds plays and goaltends and things like that with this kind of technology in basketball eventually. So, I'm about this. I feel like the refs in some ways can be manipulative and enforce NBA storylines that Adam Silver wants. But if we have a system where it's all automated and it's not human error and there's no bias or prejudice, that may be actually a better refereed game in some ways because it's just automated and there's no human kind of instinct to screw over the Raptors because they're Canadian. That kind of stuff. So we'll have to see how this develops. The MLB has opened the door, though. That's it right there. Kaz is saying also Bane is the 83rd percentile in the NBA for passer rating. So I don't know why you think he's a bad passer, Shaq Lindsay, but I digress. Enough. Yeah. Well, once again, this may happen sometimes where some of us are fans of some players and some of us are not, or some of us are just kind of like, I don't really care either way. And I get the feeling that you, in some ways, you like Desmond Bane a lot and you want to stand up for him. And that's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think Desmond Bane's a good player. I like his attitude. I like that he's a Darko guy. But also, once again, this supersedes it. I want to sully the Magic more than I want to praise Desmond Bane right now. That's kind of what it is. But yeah, you got the stats and you have evidence. You want to bring stuff like that. Well, that'll help your case for sure, Cass. That'll help your case for sure. Fiercely saying Magic from 2 years ago were better than last year's version. Yeah. When they beat us in Florida with Nick Nurse, the last time we played the Magic with Nick Nurse in Orlando, it was deflating. In fact, that may have killed Nick Nurse's career with the Toronto Raptors. When we went to Orlando and played 2 games against them early in that season, I remember Ken Birch was still on our team. And the Magic absolutely beat us in a back-to-back in Orlando, 2 games in a row down there. And it was deflating. And I think the team just kind of lost their love for being on the team, Pascal, Fred, and OG at that time. And the Magic were better then than they were last year. Yep. Fiercely saw it too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I don't care. We're going to crush them this season. Send them to play at the theme parks. That's right. Get them on the roller coaster. A roller coaster of emotions. That's right. Milbester saying the league is going in the right direction. It's only going to get better from here, but I'm happy they finally put it in. It's a big deal going on. Managers and players and fans are reacting to it. Not unanimous, I've heard. Not everybody's for this. Some people are traditionalists. And they're like, no, we don't need to do this. This slippery slope. This will be bad. And some people are all for it. It's not a unanimous thing. Some players are not happy about this. Some managers are not happy about this. That's right. That's right. Kaz saying, I saw that Brandon Ingram picture. Yeah. He's looking very, hey, yeah. Don't want to meet your daddy. Hey, yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cool Cat saying, Precious back to Miami Heat is a blessing. Better opportunities and a rebuilding team over a win now team. Yeah, I think it's a good spot for him to come back and revisit them. Maybe Eric Spoelstra can see what he learned in Toronto and New York and kind of say, okay, Precious, you've gotten to this point now, finally. That's great. I mean, I'm a big Precious fan. I think Precious is an awesome person. I think he's an amazing talent, and I want him to succeed. And him sitting on the sidelines waiting to get called to a team until today, well, I was worried for him. I really was worried for him. But this is a good fit. I agree. This is a great place for Precious to be right now, is Miami Heat back there again. And I might be rooting for them to a degree with them and Norman Powell being down there. That's right. Kaz saying, I've been seeing a lot of news talking about wasting water supply for cooling computer servers and causing water shortages for the population. AI is not good. Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because do we have an option to get involved in an AI world? No. They're not asking for any kind of like, do you want to opt into this or not? No, they're just going to force us into the world of AI. And that's messed up. You can see it where you go on Google. They're saying, we're going to give you the AI answer. Now, when I Google something, am I causing pollution and water shortage because of this shit? They wanted to build all these new facilities around everywhere to handle AI generation. And all I've heard is it causes pollution. It causes problems for people. Like there's a big, huge facility in Memphis that Elon owns that's absolutely poisoning the residents of that poor black area of Memphis, that they are poisoning people with the AI facility next door, that it takes a lot of water to run through it. Like, what is this bullshit? Seriously? Just so somebody can ask some frivolous ass questions to AI or have a weird sexual relationship with a chatbot, you're going to make us all have less water and pollute poor neighborhoods in different cities around the world? That don't sound right. That sounds dystopian as fuck. Seriously, you gonna give water to AI instead of a thirsty child? What's going on here? Seriously, what's going on here? Maybe y'all shouldn't go rushing into it if the system isn't feasible or sustainable and it's taking away basic life necessities for other people like clean air and water. Maybe you should figure out the next development before you go full throttle into making the infrastructure for it and getting it to the next level where it makes more sense and it's not so resource depleting. You know what I'm saying? Maybe use our brains. And yeah, no, I don't know. That's why I say if you know there's AI facilities going up in your area, in your city, your town, your state, maybe you should fight them. Because in some ways, that may be the fight against AI doing the Skynet Terminator shit. That may be the fight for just having clean water and clean air in your area, because that thing's gonna come in there and mess things up. Yeah, good point, Kaz. I'm gonna give you a dunk for this, for bringing this up. These are environmental concerns about AI, and they could be very much an issue. Kaz is at 67 on the dunk charts now. 67. Good point. All right, let's see. Cool Cat's saying this: so basic income tied to inflation. If not, society will revolt when a Maslow hierarchy of needs are not adhered to. Yeah. She's bringing out the big sociological terms here. History is the teacher. It should be taught, so everyone should be cognizant. Yep. Yeah. Some people aren't realizing history repeats itself, and well, Nazi Germany is repeating itself with MAGA America. And we got to remember what the storyline was and how it all went down, and how fascism was defeated in the 1900s, because we're going to have to do it again in the 2000s, obviously. So, yeah, be ready for this. Know your history. Know your enemy. That's right. Rage Against the Machine. That's right. That's right. And it's crazy because online, I go into places online and I see comment sections and there's so much misinformation. They really want to make the lie that the Charlie Kirk shooter was a leftist really stick. It's not true in the least. And if you are going for blood because you want blood of left people because you think they murdered Charlie Kirk, you are misinformed, you are being lied to, and you are crazy, because it was your own side that killed Charlie Kirk. And if you think that a leftist killed Charlie Kirk, you're crazy. You're on drugs. You're drinking that MAGA Kool-Aid, and you're messed up in the head. I've seen it on social media all over the place. Everybody's coming in, and maybe they're bots. Maybe they're Russian propaganda bots trying to inflame the divisions of the United States. Well, stupid people, just realize that a very right-wing Trump person killed Charlie Kirk, is even more right-wing than Charlie Kirk. He killed Charlie Kirk for being left. That's actually true. The guy shot him because he thought he was too left, that Charlie Kirk was too left. So get your facts straight. And when you point the finger at the left for the murder of Charlie Kirk, which was a tragedy and was wrong, I will stand on that. I'm not celebrating his death. I think he was a piece of shit. I'm not going to lie, but it is still a tragedy. You know, they're trying to make misinformation, and there's some idiots out there that actually believe this. And it's just like COVID misinformation. There's so much stuff that people are believing that just isn't true, because people are lying to them left and right. And then they try and ensconce it as the truth. Always remember the truth, y'all, and fight the power and fight for the truth. Seriously, because they're trying to do some crazy shit right now. Seriously, with the truth. Kaz is saying, I'm super excited about a Jamal Shed video coming out today. I will post it in the chat when it comes out. Shed will be playing street ball with a prominent content creator on YouTube, Devontae Friga. Yeah, I seen the ad on the Instagram. In fact, we should go do the Instagram stories in a second. But I'll talk about what I know about this. In the middle of summer, Jamal Shed asked in general, hey, does anybody know a good park to go play street ball in Austin? And he went to Austin, Texas, and he played this game. And I remember when he played it, he actually did some Instagram lives during it. And I watched a little bit of it already, and when it was live, and he took a lot of pictures too. So this was just a fun street ball game that he did in the middle of summer. I think it was around July. And, you know, we're finally going to get to see the polished video of it. So cool. Yeah, I heard that was going to drop. And on that note, let's go look at the Instagram stories real quick. We've got Bruno Fernando is playing Puff Daddy. I'll be missing you. And it's an old video footage because he's got like a kid in play, flat top, high top. It's crazy, man. Like, I've never seen Bruno Fernando with hair that high. And well, that must be old. So he must be remembering somebody who passed on that he misses. DeMar DeRozan's cruising around listening to Nipsey Hussle, his good friend that was murdered a few years back. But yeah, DeMar is looking very into himself, and well, he's got to get ready for the new season. Sandro Mamu is saying a happy birthday to his girlfriend, Mercedes Brooks. That's right. Mercedes Brooks is a female basketball player that played for LSU. And well, that's Sandro's girlfriend, guys. She's very good basketball player, by the way. And she did go to Eurobasket and support him this summer in Georgia, wearing his jersey. But he's saying happy birthday to Mercedes today. So happy birthday to Sandro's lady, Mercedes Brooks of LSU fame. Toronto Tempo has got swag, and swag. And that's what we're going to say. Toronto Tempo swag. Go get that swag. Benedict Mathurin putting on the Toronto Tempo swag and talking up the Toronto Tempo coming to Montreal as an NBA star and a player who played in the NBA Finals for the Indiana Pacers. It's really cool to see Ben Mathurin standing up for the WNBA and Toronto Tempo team. And the Mathurin Family Foundation is involved with the Toronto Tempo and the Montreal market and what they're going to be doing. In fact, his sister Jennifer is going to be working hand in hand with Teresa Resch as they do stuff in Montreal this year with the inaugural franchise coming in for their first season. So really cool to see Benedict wearing a Toronto Tempo shirt and promoting the WNBA and the Toronto Tempo. Very, very cool. Very, 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 very cool. Let's see. Also, Teresa Resch has got this up. Canadian Women in Sports are inviting coaches, teachers, refs, and sports leaders to a free 3-part series on building equitable and inclusive sports for women and girls. It's inspired by Dr. Sandip Lali's legacy, and it starts tomorrow. Sign up through Teresa Resch's Instagram if you want to find it. So also, Raptors official is putting Coach's Open House on blast. The date is October 17th. At the inside of the Scotiabank Arena. This will be the same day as the game they play against the Nets in the preseason at Scotiabank Arena. So in the morning, they'll have open practice. And I think Mo said that she's not going to go to the Coach's Open House because she wants to go to the preseason game later. She doesn't want to be down at the arena twice that day. So nobody's going to Coach's Open House as of right now because Monique has decided she'd rather go to the preseason game, guys. So if you want to go see Darko speak, you want to see the Raptors practice behind the scenes, you can see a real Raptors practice like they do all the time. Go to the Coach's Open House, October 17th, next month. And, it's free. And you got to go down there early in the morning. And it's a morning thing till about 1 p.m. is what it is. And all the Raptors will be there practicing. You will see Scotty. You will see RJ. You will see Jakob. Elijah Martin celebrating the birthday of his dog is 1 year old today. And I guess that dog's up here with us. Or no, is he down in Florida? I can't tell. Maybe that dog's down south. It looks like that's Florida outside. I'm not totally sure. Also, Elijah is putting on blast a couple of his friends who are doing a basketball camp. React nonprofit boys basketball camp will be September 27th at 11 a.m. And that's at the Southwest Community College. And I'm guessing that's down in Florida, y'all. And Antonio Cowart and Matt Riley will be running it. And the fee is only $30, guys. So that's sounding like a good price right there. Emmanuel Quickly showing more footage from his camp here in Toronto at the Toronto Metropolitan University. Very, very cool stuff. The kids look like they were hyped. They've got the cool Quickly camp shirt and all that kind of great stuff going on there. Emmanuel, you're a joy. Serge Ibaka's video that he filmed in Roncesvalles, we're seeing more of it. He's riding down the street with a nice young lady dancing in the street at La Paella and pouring the Madre beer and having the paella at La Paella. Yeah, uncovering Madrid in Toronto with Serge Ibaka. That's right. Jamal Shed is talking about four-star Ralph Scott. Four-star Ralph Scott is down 4 schools and where he might go to. And it looks like Houston is one of them. So you go on to Houston. That's what Jamal would want you to do there, Ralph Scott, is go on to Houston Cougars. That's right. Also, there's the thing that you guys were just talking about, Jamal Shed versus Park Hoopers tomorrow on my channel. It's going to be dropping. So that's coming out today, guys. Shamshay is putting on blast a soccer player. I'm not even sure who that is. He plays for Paris something. I don't know. It's a soccer player. I don't know soccer. I can't tell you who that is. Let's see what else we got on Instagram. We got Kyle Lowry, who's saying happy birthday to a friend of his that he golfs with. I guess it's his friend, Dr. Frank, is he's saying happy birthday to him. Kyle's so goofy in it. Like, I guess it's just a golfing buddy. Let's see. What else do we got? That's it. That's the Instagram stories right now. Light on the Instagram stories for right now. Just a little bit of stuff going on there, right there. That's it. That's right. 3 p.m. is when that video with Shed's coming out. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Kareem saying China is about 30 years ahead of the world. While our grade 1 through 3 are learning nursery rhymes, Chinese kids are learning how to grow crops. Yeah. I mean, seriously, what is education? Education is a way to teach people to follow the rules of society and laws and to be obedient. Is that what education is? Or is it to teach life skills and endeavors and creativity and learn the new world coming up and be ahead of the curve? See, that's part of the problem. The United States education system is too oriented around obedience and being a good societal person. It's more about training you to obey than actually training you to think for yourself or to learn. And well, other places are giving good life skills like cooking and growing food and other things, critical thinking skills and stuff like that. USA don't want that. They want you to be dumb sheep that just obey. That's it, Shepherd Fairley. So it's like exactly. Boom goes the dynamite. They are learning real skills, and in some ways, they are ahead of us over there in this country of China. That's very for sure. Kareem saying, "Why the fuck we talking about a six man who's not even an all star anyway?" Yeah, I like that. There you go. I'm gonna give you a dunk. I like that. He's talking about Jalen Suggs, or is that Desmond Bain? He means right there. I don't know. Either way, dunk champions getting another dunk. 221 for Kareem Thomas right there. Yeah, Mischief's here. Good to see the baseman Mischief. Speaking about electric versus gas, I bought electric outboard for a boat because there's more reliable and they don't run on gas or oil. They're maintenance free, game changer. See, I love that. I bought a lot of electric stuff recently. Like I have an electric lawnmower. I have an electric weed whacker. Yeah. Yeah, electric. Well, they run on batteries. Now there are downsides to it. Sure. You could get a gas powered mower or a gas powered engine boat or a gas powered weed whacker and you could bro right through stuff like and just run right through it. And maybe the electric stuff isn't as powerful, but the technology is changing and more it'll get better and come up with the gas stuff. I just love cutting the lawn and not smelling that gas smell just overwhelming around me. I love being able to just, know that I am not contributing to fossil fuels prices or to the pollution that comes from burning the fossil fuels by having an electric lawnmower. And like I said, the power is not totally there to the level of the gas ones. And I get it. Some people are all about the power, whether it's chainsaws or weed whackers or lawnmowers or outboard motors for their boat. But what Mischief is saying here is exactly right. It's like, wow, this is a game changer. This technology has actually got a lot of good stuff about it that's going to make things better in some ways. And, this is the early stuff. It's going to get better and better, and it's going to be more powerful, and it's going to be better as time goes on. Innovation will breed that. So, yeah, I like this. I like this. Mischief speaking up for a battery powered engine for his boat instead of a gas powered one. I like that. I'm going to give you a dunk for that. In some ways, it's like, look, we need to tell the truth about this. The gas powered stuff is not necessary. And some people are only into it because they want to be macho, honestly. 21 is for dunks. You got that Dominique Wilkins human highlight reel. That's right. 21. Let's go. Kaloy saying IQ is going to be better than Suggs and Bain combined this year. Book it. Oh, you're speaking my language, Kaloy. Yeah, I agree with this. I think that Emmanuel Quickly not being in the top 100 ESPN is an oversight, and Jalen Suggs and Desmond Bain both being there, that don't make no sense to me. So, Kaloy, you're getting a dunk too. We're getting out good dunks for great points of view. 88 on the charts for Kaloy right there. Yeah, I'm going to agree with him. I think that Emmanuel Quickly is a better NBA player than both of those guys, Desmond and Jalen. I believe this. Neil saying this: the barter system works until the government comes around for the taxes. Government wants their money. They won't take a barrel of apples instead. Society is tied to taxation. You're saying that is if society exists still, that a government still exists. What's happening is, all right, you know where you want to look to see how things are going to go is Russia. Yeah, Russia. Because Russia is a little further along in their bullshit with oligarchs and destroying society. What's happening right now is, all right, Putin has started this war in Ukraine, totally unjustified, war criminal Vladimir Putin. And well, what's happening is he's sending so many Russian citizens to the front lines against Ukraine, and they're dying. They're just getting slaughtered because they don't have a good position, and the Ukrainians are defending themselves. And well, it's like I've heard it described as a meat grinder. The amount of loss of young males in Russian society is going to be tough for them to recover in the future. And what's happening is there's no police anymore in Russia because everybody's gone. So basically, the oligarchs, the rich people who are in charge, it's not the government anymore. It's the oligarchs, the rich people that are Putin is his puppet. Their puppet is Putin. They have to hire private security, and they're using the organized crime as the police now in Russia. In a lot of areas, it's not police anymore that are protecting the peace. It's actual organized crime that is organized by the oligarchs, and they are the ones in charge. So you think about that. So what kind of society are we going to have when we get to that point where systems just dismantle? You can talk about how the government's going to want taxes from us, but who the fuck is going to care about the government when everything's all upside down? Who the fuck is going to pay their taxes, Neil? You're talking from a very cushy place of privilege, thinking that your privileged life that you live right now is one you're going to have in 5 years from now. That's the thing you need to understand. Everything's out the window. Everything's turned upside down. You cannot forecast, even though it seems like you can, that we're going to just smooth sail and have the same life we have right now today in 5 or 10 years from now. You cannot do that. We are changing this world, whether we like it or not. And it's up to us whether we want to change it the way we want to. We have to fight the power to do that. And you worrying about taxes with the government, that's going to be the least on your worries in the next 5 years. Trust me. You could be a good citizen and try and pay your taxes still. But in some ways, there's not going to be anybody trying to come get your taxes. Trust me, because things are going to be so upside down and crazy unless they flip it into an AI dystopian world, the surveillance, and they're going to come and get your taxes in really weird, fucked up ways through like bots and AI and all this kind of shit. So yeah, don't just presuppose that the life you live right now is the life you're going to have in 5 years. Seriously, don't presuppose this. The rules are all going out the window. Trust me, they're all going out the window. And that may sound like chaos and crazy. It is going to be. It is going to be. Kareem's saying, I can honestly think of like 5 or 6 better, more impactful moves than Baines going to Disney. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Durant is obviously a big one. Ingram, I want to put him on that list. Who's another one? I think Norman going to the Heat in some ways is more important than Bane going to the Magic. Seriously. That's right. Kaz saying Jalen Suggs may be more angry person. Yeah, that's totally true. That is totally true. We know that's true. Fiercey saying agree with Kaloy, IQ over those guys. Exactly. James is saying, Lex, who's going to be an underrated player in fantasy this year? Are you trying to get fantasy advice before our draft right now, James? Because you want to know who Lex might be targeting? Man, I can't be telling you this. I will say this, James. What you want to look at is situations where players are going somewhere and they're going to have bigger opportunities. And in some ways, even though the Brooklyn Nets are really bad, there's going to be some guys on that team that you may want to see because somebody's going to have to get stats on the Nets. And there may be somebody who's not radar that could be stepping up and you could get him at a really good value in the draft from the Nets. And then all of a sudden you're getting a lot of stuff. This was kind of something that happened in the WNBA league this year with the Valkyries. The Golden State Valkyries came in as a new franchise, and there were some new players that got bigger stats because of that. And, well, our champion capitalized on the Valkyries to a degree to get that kind of effect. So that's where you look. You look at those kind of areas. Where is opportunity new for somebody in a new place or changes on that roster, and who's going to benefit from it, James? I'm not going to give you a specific name right now, though. Kareem saying, damn, so we're not going to have managers and umpires face-to-face bidding fights and throwouts anymore? Are we going to risk the excitement just to get the call right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an MLB expert. I mean, it could be that they still come out there and yell and cuss, even if the AI is the one who decided it. So maybe you don't miss this. Maybe they're robots at some point. We'll see robot fights or something like that. Robot wars. Maybe there's like a dispute over a call in the baseball game, and they send out like the robots that are on like that Robot Wars show that have like the buzzsaw, and they like ride out and they're like they have a fight, and they determine who gets the call by the robot fight between like the robot kits that kids make to fight each other. Like there was something on Malcolm in the Middle once where they made a robot to fight, and it was like the Krellborns. It was like Malcolm and his friends, and they had to make one of these robots that's on TV. It's like science classes do this now. Let's make a robot to fight another robot, and it has to have a chainsaw on it. Shit like that. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Kaz saying, question: if the call is a strike and the AI says that's ball, do the umpire still get final say on the call, or is it automatically changed to ball? Well, you want to think that the calculated the AI to get the strike zone correctly so that it is absolutely the authority on what is actually what happened. So I don't know. I don't know the particulars of the decisions on the AI judging. It could very well be the humans still get the last call, but that may look really bad. Like, think about it. If they like go to the AI and the AI says it's a ball, but the ref wants to call it a strike, and then they still call it a strike, then the people that wanted it to be a ball would have a real good case. But the AI said it was a ball. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't. I've looked at this very surface level, and the amount that I knew is what I said earlier. So Trevor's saying this. I just put RJ working out in the chat. Very nice. All right, let me go look at that. RJ's working out. Let me see what you did. Okay, yeah, he's just down at OVO Center putting in work. It looks like he may be there with some of his teammates. Okay, cool, cool. Let's see. Kaloy saying good timing. Good thing is I'm seeing articles saying the AI bubble is about to burst. It won't disappear, but the AI hype is about to die out. I'm just worried that, like, y'all, we got to understand there's a lot of things they're deciding for us without our consent. And we can't have that. You know, we could slip into real dystopia if we are not vigilant about regulation with AI. This is very, very serious. And Donald Trump's already made legislation that AI will not be regulated in the United States. So that just means that people that want to exploit us will have more means to exploit us in new ways because of AI. So, man, I'm telling you, in some ways, you know, a rejection of new technology and the new world coming, maybe a lot of what people are going to do is we want to be Amish. Fuck all this shit. We don't want this AI shit in our lives. I'm going off the grid. I'm not even going to be on the internet anymore. And I'm going to live an old school life like an Amish person does in Pennsylvania because I'm just sick of this shit. Because this is just too far. Your overreach with surveilling me is too fucked up. And I don't want you to be watching me like you can. And I don't want to be feeling like AI is ruining the world. And I don't want to participate in it. There's going to be a lot of people that are moving in this direction more and more, that they want to reject the new technology because they feel like it's not a good thing we're moving into. And, you know, Terminator movie series tell us that it could not be a very good thing that we're moving into by giving AI more power in our lives. Seriously, guys. We don't know where AI on its own, independent, at some point when it develops to that point, what it will start deciding. You know, a lot of science fiction writers have written about this. You know, Isaac Asimov, I, Robot. The robot is supposed to say, I will not hurt humans, right? That's one of the protocols that's put in it. But this is the thing. And a lot of science fiction says that at some point AI becomes so smart that it realizes that humans are the problem, and it starts getting rid of the humans because the humans are the problem in the system. And if you have all your AI hooked up to a whole bunch of drones in all kinds of weird, fucked up ways, yeah, just imagine this is a bad science fiction movie, like, and this is Terminator's world. Seriously. Seriously, we don't want that shit. We don't want that shit. That's right. Trevor wants that cutoff. Thank you. I'm 2 minutes away from 2 hours. 2 minutes away. Shaq Lindsay saying Memphis didn't have a point guard because of the absence of Morant. Bain had the ball in his hand and was playing point guard for them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. That was part of it. I think that Desmond Bain, in some ways, his value was up because of the Grizzlies. Because of the Grizzlies. We'll just have to see how it is in Magic. That's right. Cool guy saying, I think the most impactful players in today's NBA are two players. It allows more creative, dynamic schemes and plays. I think the most impactful players in today's NBA are two players. I wonder who. It allows more creative, dynamic schemes and plays. Okay. And she's saying, are you saying two-way players? That's what you meant? You missed a word in there. Are two-way players. The most impactful players in today's NBA are two-way players. I think that's what she meant. And that's what Bobby's building our team with. You have to be a two-way player to be on the Raptors. Yeah. Cool Cat's also saying Mathurin now has a WNBA conflict. Laugh out loud. Indiana Fever versus Toronto Tempo. Laugh out loud. I don't think that's a conflict for him. I mean, Ben Mathurin and Canadians can get behind the city of Toronto as a city. He can still be against the Raptors, right? I mean, the Tempo aren't even owned by the same company. So, I mean, Ben Mathurin showing support for Toronto Tempo is just Ben Mathurin showing support for the Canadian and WNBA team. I wouldn't read into it that far. You know, classic card. All right, it's coming. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I'll be joining Yahoo Fantasy League. Don't drop me. I'm struggling with my password again. I really have to manage all these sports accounts better. Well, I'll say this right now. You're in already, so don't worry. You're not dropped. You're in there. You're in there good. And when you get through, you'll find all your stuff is still there, and you're good. You're good. You're in there automatically. Blackhawk saying Russia wasn't a capitalist country, so they don't miss the services we normally have. We won't tolerate our garbage not being picked up. You said earlier in the show, people will rebel. Yeah, yeah, but listen, this is the way. The reason why we got to go by what Russia is because Trump is using all the same playbook that Putin does. Everything that Putin does, we can think that Trump might do it, and that includes invading Ukraine. Seriously, guys. So, because basically he's ripping off a lot of what Putin is doing, and he wants to apply it to the United States. That's the crazy thing that the Americans don't realize is that Donald Trump is making your country Russia. Seriously. Seriously. He's cutting off economic ties with other countries where you get sanctions and you don't do as much business globally, just like Russia. And, people are cutting off economic ties with the United States now. He's trying to take control of the media, the state-sponsored media, just like Vladimir Putin. He's working hand in hand with rich oligarchs to enrich them and hurt the rest of society. It's all the same shit. So, as much as you say they weren't a capitalist country, no, they are. They are. They adopted it after the fall of the Berlin Wall and the USSR went away. Russia did invite capitalism to an extent, but it's crony capitalism with oligarchs. And they do have that kind of stuff going on there. But the U.S. is not that far from going into that direction. Don't kid yourself, Neil. Don't kid yourself. Now you say we're going to revolt when the garbage isn't picked up. You think that's what's going to make us revolt? I don't know what'll make us revolt finally. Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled was one thing. That's good. We'll just have to see what the triggers are for society when enough's enough. And they said that you've gone too far. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. Maybe it's Aunt Martha passing away and she didn't have to. That may be part of it. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Blackhawk saying America is going through a repeat of history. The Industrial Revolution was a period where man polluted their environment for greed. Trump is trying to bring back anti-environmental policies. Yeah, he already has. He's not trying. He's done it. And sadly, our government is following suit in some ways. In the name of making Canada strong, Mark Carney is disregarding environmental groups and indigenous groups. And I don't like that, Mark Carney. I don't think that we should run roughshod in making stuff happen fast in a disregard for sustainable things for our future with our environment. I think that's a very poor idea. And especially if you're trying to build infrastructure that includes fossil fuels, Stu, like pipelines and power plants that still run on fossil fuels. That's stupid. That's antiquated. That's not the future. And you're putting money in infrastructure and stuff that is going to be useless in a couple of years from now. And we're going to be like, why the hell did we spend all this money on this stupid ass shit? Oh, because some American company wanted to build a pipeline in Canada? Seriously. Get with it, Mark Carney. Don't go in this direction with this bullshit. In some ways, I don't totally trust you because of your disregard for my environmental concern with your new projects. So, yeah, that's what I say right there. Yeah. Boss health matters. He's saying, laugh out loud, drill, drill, drill. Yeah, drill, drill. And then none of the kids have a planet in the future. Okay, that's real smart. We only get one planet. These motherfuckers want to build rockets and try and escape. Well, why don't we just try and fix this planet first? And the whole drill is so stupid. Because listen, I'm telling you, oil is a dead commodity. It should be. But sheiks and people over in the Middle East keep this whole charade up. They spend trillions of dollars trying to lie to everybody. That's right. Was you saying you ain't God, bro? You ain't God. I'm not trying to be God. I'm just speaking the truth here, man. If you don't want to believe me, Boss Health Matters, that's fine. That's your right. But you know what? You'll believe it when fucking the temperatures rise and this earth is more and more inhabitable. We're not allowed. We can't live on this planet because of different issues. And if you think that's not happening, you're an idiot. You can go talk to somebody in Australia. They'll tell you exactly what's going on with the environment. That's right. Easy to reverse cancer in 12 months. What do you mean? Easy to reverse cancer in 12 months. No, go read The Tipping Point. Go learn from David Suzuki. He could tell you exactly. He's a great Canadian. He knows the subject very well. And he could teach you very fast just how stupid what we're doing. Seriously. Yeah, but yeah, boss health matter. Temperatures are falling. That's not true. It's like, listen, it's like 30 degrees and we're like 3 days into fall. You know, the idea that climate is cyclical, sure, but we're ramping it up in weird ways, and the average temperatures are going up at a very drastic rate compared to pre-industrial revolution numbers. So yeah, human impact is causing climate change. And all the misinformation about climate change is done by lobbyists and politicians for very sick reasons. They're short-sighted for this, and they're not thinking about the kids or a sustainable planet. And that's just the damn truth, man. All right, I'll humor you for a little bit more, but in some ways we'll just see right here. Let's see. All right, where are we with the chat? I am with Cool Cat. Watch sci-fi shows and movies for roadmap and understand what's going on and where we're heading. Yeah, it's dangerous and scary. And that's why I'm saying we got to take our power now. We don't want future generations to be like, why didn't the generation in 2025 do something about this that we're at this point in 2050? Seriously, we don't want to get blamed for dropping the ball in our generation, in our time right now, for not setting things up for our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren in the next 100 years. Seriously, we are being irresponsible. We're being selfish. We're being self centered. We're being stupid, honestly, because we love something that's so temporary and we're destroying something that needs to be permanent and help us be a species and a civilization. Seriously, it's crazy. James saying, I don't like all the AI stuff. I wish we could go back 100 years. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, I don't trust it. Everybody keeps saying, no, AI is going to have good and bad sides to it. Motherfucker, I may be a pessimist, but I don't trust humankind to use AI for the positive. I trust them to use it for manipulation to make more money and screw over people. And in some ways, it will be very dangerous. And that's the scary thing about it right there. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Trevor's saying Bible prophecy is fulfilling right in front of our eyes. America's falling every day. All right, let's go to Raptors Reddit and I'll react to it for a second because there's something funny here right now. At the top of Raptors Reddit right now, somebody said, according to the Bible, the Raptors were supposed to come today. Why isn't there a game thread for it? And that's a funny dad joke by a Raptors Redditor. And I love it. In some ways, it's hilarious. Everybody thought the rapture was going to happen yesterday, apparently. All these people were getting ready. Maybe that's why Chris Boucher got baptized this weekend. It's Rosh Hashanah. Happy New Year to the Jewish people, the good Jewish people, the real Jewish people that love people and that are neighbors and good people and loving. Jewish people are amazing, beautiful people. Now, the stuff that's going on in Israel with Gaza and stuff, that's not right. And that's not good. But I can still say a happy Rosh Hashanah to all the great Jewish people all around the world. I love you and thank you for your great contributions to society in love and peace. I will say that. I can separate that. But yeah, the rapture didn't come. Maybe that's why Jonathan Mobo was posting so many scriptures in the last couple of days. The rapture did not come. These people have been waiting for the rapture every once in a while, here and there, and it just don't come. All right, more on Raptors Reddit. Help a dad and his son learn about the Raptors. So this guy is a dad. And he has a young son. He wants to get into the Raptors with his son. And he's saying he has an 8-year-old boy. He wants to start watching basketball. He never really grew up watching basketball himself, and he doesn't really know a lot about it. So he wants to teach him. Well, I would say this. You could come watch the Raptor Freak channel. I'll get you up to speed real quick if you want to do that. Now, I'm not necessarily for your son, but I could be for you. You could watch it, and you could teach some stuff from what you learned from me. But yeah, Raptor Freak channel is the best place to come and learn about the Raptors, the history, the present of the Raptors, and the whole 30-year history. So come on down to the Raptor Freak channel. I'm not going to write it in there and tell him to come here. But if somebody talks to this guy, tell him to come watch Raptor Freak because I'll help him out real quick. All right, there's your Raptor Reddit reactions real quick. Yeah, I like that. As a father wants to teach his 8-year-old son to be a Raptors fan. That's a fantastic thing. That's a beautiful thing right there. That's right. Cool Cat's saying, also keep an eye on the oligarchs. See, they are building elaborate bunkers. Yeah, that whole fire that happened in Hawaii in the last couple of years, there was a big, huge fire that happened on one of the main islands in Hawaii. Well, that was some insurance ash bullshit, right? You know how a business owner may burn down their own business just to get the insurance money? Well, they burned down part of Hawaii on purpose so that people like Mark Zuckerberg and Oprah Winfrey could build these new bunker houses in the area that got messed up. And that's what Mark Zuckerberg's got his little bunker, is on an island in Hawaii. It's a panic room. It's a whole kind of thing, a place to keep the masses away when maybe people are coming for eating cake. These very rich people have these bunkers and underground things for nuclear war, whatever. They're getting ready for that because they understand they may piss off the general public to a degree where Luigi is just a drop in the bucket of what's to come. And that's Cool Cat's right. This is something that they're doing very actively. And why the hell is Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk so hurried to try and get into space? Because they have a plan to destroy all of the Earth and escape. Because they'll run it to the ground, make as much money off of it there, and then leave. Where are you going to go? And what are you going to do somewhere? I mean, that's stupid. I'll go ahead and take an Elon or a Jeff Bezos flight. Maybe I'll blow up there or something. I don't know where you're going. Seriously, there's nowhere else to go right now. That's right. Let's see. Boss Health saying here at Toronto, it's all good. I hope so. I love the city of Toronto because Toronto is a multicultural, diverse city. It's the most diverse city in the world. DEI lives and thrives in Toronto, and Toronto's strong for it. Having somebody from every single country in the world represented, and it's just really an amazing city. I love the city for it. But sadly, once again, very rich people have priced people out of the city and being able to live there correctly at a decent wage. And it's sad because Toronto was a livable city up until about 10, 15 years ago, but it's gone downhill since. And everybody gets upset because there's more people in the park. Well, where the hell are they going to go when they have no affordable housing? That's what I say to that. That's right. Boss Health saying, anyways, temps go up when the season starts. Yeah, tempo will go up. Tempo going to be coming next year. Temperatures go up when the season starts. I mean, listen, whatever bullshit you've hook, line, and sinker from people in the oil industry, you go ahead and keep believing that, Boss Health. You go ahead and keep believing the lies that they fed you. The climate is changing. The stats are real. They can erase all the stats they want in the White House and MAGA, but it's still not going to change the outcome. The fairy tales and the bullshit. We need to change our behaviors because we're going to destroy this. It's the only one we got. The scientists have said this, and I don't believe politicians. You can go ahead and believe the politicians. I believe the scientists. So there you go. All right, let's see. Boss Health saying also, that's why all the grocery stores sell pesticide food. No wonder our players get hurt with all this liberal thoughts. All right. First of all, don't use that as a slur because the Liberal Party is the Prime Minister of Canada right now. And we're on the side of the right, seriously. So you using that as some sort of derogatory term just tells me enough right here, man. I wish that people would stop buying into this left hate. It's so dumb. Seriously. We're trying to help everybody. We're trying to save the world. That's the side that's trying to fuck everybody over. And the fact that you want to stand on that side, well, that says enough. I got to say goodbye to you, my guy. It's sad, man, because I've seen you before. I remember you, Boss Health. I remember you, man, but you got to go now. This is not for everybody. This is not a channel that I allow anybody to be in here. In some ways you want to be in here and you want to speak like this. I don't have time for this. I'm not going to argue with you for half an hour about climate change. It's real. Okay. You're the dumbass who thinks it's not real. Well, you'll find out at some point and you'll be like, God damn it, Raptors Freak was right. And I'm stupid. I've been stupid all these years. Yeah, you have, Boss Health. You've been stupid all these years. And you're going to find out. You're going to find out. Cool Cat saying, I feel bad for the rapture believers that sold their homes and earthly possessions. Yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing. That sounds like old church grifters. Oh, you must give me your seed money right now because we're going to be gone anyway. So just give it to me. They give all their money to a televangelist. And then the rapture doesn't happen and they don't have a house. That's messed up. That's immoral, by the way. That's not Christ-like. To steal money from people that they need just to enrich yourself. That's what I say. Televangelists and a lot of the people that tout that they're Christ-like and they're all about Jesus, they're not. They're antichrist because they're stealing money from the poor that they for their own gains. That is the epitome of the wrong thing right there. That's right. Neil saying best sci-fi is Battlestar Galactica, the reboot. Has a great amount of human conflicts of man and AI. Babylon 5 would be another series to watch about the conflicts of man and religion. All right. I know you have been wanting me to watch Battlestar Galactica for the longest time. Who knows? Maybe I will get to it. Who knows? Trevor saying, God said no man knows the time or the hour when he will come. He will come again. Listen, I'm not very religious. We know this, but I will respect that people want to have a faith and believe in a higher power, and I'm all about a higher power. Higher power is important for checking egos. You got to have a higher power in your life. You can't think you're the end all be all like Trump or the oligarchs saying, I'm just all so high and mighty. I don't have to answer to anyone. That's really that mindset. So it's important for everybody to stay humble and believe there is a higher power out there that you should respect. And that's important. So I don't know. Like the rapture to me, it would be nuclear war. That's what it would be to me. Like if all of a sudden, God forbid, Israel started sending nuclear bombs towards Arab countries around it, and then there were a whole thing going on, and there was a nuclear fallout, and then a lot of people died that way. That's what I realistically think is a rapture. I think that the whole idea of a biblical rapture, like what they talk about, it sounds interesting, but I don't think it's realistic. Like all of a sudden, this is what happens. I think there's a huge cataclysmic event, and it changes the world. Whether it's an asteroid hitting the Earth and all the dinosaurs die, that's a rapture. You know, there's scientific evidence for the rapture. It's not totally a faith-based thing where it's just like God appears and takes all the people that believed in him with him and he leaves. Sure, you can believe that. But once again, I'm more science-based than faith-based. And I do believe that faith matters. And I do believe having a higher power is important. But if we're going to rationalize how scientifically a rapture would happen, it's like nuclear war or climate cataclysm is what rapture is. It's that. And it could very well be, you could say, yeah, this is happening because of God. The cataclysm of this environmental disaster is the rapture of God. And you could say that and paint it at that. And I wouldn't argue with you because if it's a natural disaster, sure. That's sure. Yeah. Neil's saying this, volcanoes don't care about bunkers. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. James saying all these bunkers, they probably know something we don't know. Well, there's always been like rich people building bunkers for a long time. I mean, there were a lot of bunkers built during the 80s with Gorbachev and USSR and Reagan. There was a lot of bunkers in the 60s and different things, the Cuban Missile Crisis. So this activity of building bunkers has been around for a long time. People have them. You know, let's reference another Malcolm in the Middle episode where they found out they had a secret bunker in their house down below, and Hal started hanging out down there, and he didn't want to come back up because it was cool down there. Yeah, that's one right there. Let's see. It's cheaper to fix the Earth than building a home in outer space. I agree with that. I mean, I hope Boss Health could be right, that we could fix things here. We get the right technology to clean things up. Maybe we can start fixing things up, but we haven't got it yet. And the powers that be aren't working in that direction. In fact, we're going in the wrong direction in North America. The rest of the world's doing the right assignment. We are not. We have politicians that are rolling back environmental regulations, and that is the wrong move right now. That's the wrong stance. And that's why I would like Mark Carney to get with the leaders of the EU and Asian leaders and leaders around the world and reconfirm his commitment to Kyoto treaties, Paris treaties, and things like that, while Trump is disregarding them and saying business is open for us to do whatever we want irresponsibly. Canada does not need to be like that. We need to show that we're not like the Americans and do better. That's right. Let's keep going. Trevor's saying the MAGA who voted are crying now. Well, he's going to hurt the people. They didn't even really. This is the thing, man. Once again, I'm going to tell you guys, not as many people are MAGA as you think. They are peacocking to make themselves look bigger because in some ways they want to intimidate people to join them through fear and also to try and make a consensus look that it looks like they're the most popular, but they're not. They are not. It's all fake. And the people that are weak and like, I just want to be on the winning team that are jumping sides, you guys suck. You are such cowards. Such cowards is what I'd say about that. That's right. Neil's saying, let them cry. I got thoughts and prayers for them. Yeah. If you lost your farm, if you lost your job, if you lost a loved one, if you lost anything and you feel like if you were a Latino that voted for MAGA and now your relatives are getting deported, we tried to tell y'all, you idiots. Project 2025, he said he didn't know what it was, and he's executing it to the note, to the letter at this point. And we told y'all what it was then, and y'all still went and voted for him, you dumbasses. I mean, people are so stupid. That's why they want no money for education, because the dumbest people are the easiest to control. People like me that think for themselves and they're smart, they don't like. That's what Trump said. Smart people don't like me.
So he just told everybody that likes you are stupid. That's basically it. He just said Trump people are stupid. Smart people don't like me, but stupid people like me. He just called all y'all stupid, MAGA people. And I'm a smart person. I don't like him. Trust me. Yeah, I don't. That's right. And Trevor's saying God said the world will be destroyed by him, not the hands of men. Well, that may be very well true. It's like the climate change adds to the problems, and then the cataclysms and natural made destruction that you could say was caused by God. Whether it's a hurricane, whether it's an earthquake, whether it's a volcano, all that stuff has been attributed to God in the past and throughout history. And that's where it comes from, right there. The earth, to me, like I've said before, I don't necessarily see God like everybody else. I don't see him as a guy in a robe with a beard. I don't see him as Jesus Christ. I see it as the earth. The earth is my God. This whole entire planet that we're living on, Gaia, is my God. Mother Nature. In fact, I feminize my God. I don't masculine my God. I look at my higher power as being a female, sacred, feminine higher power that is Mother Nature, and that is actually the orb, the planet that we are living on that travels through space. And in some ways, my God can be a very vengeful God with tsunami, with earthquake, with natural disaster. And much like our bodies, Gaia is a living organism. The earth is a living organism. We are just like mites on the skin, like a mite would be on our skin. You know, you have mites in your eyelashes and shit like that. Well, the earth is a body like ours, and we're just parasites on it. And maybe at times we're sickening the overall body, like a virus or something is in our bodies, like COVID. And well, what does our body do? It sends out antibodies. It sends out things inside us to fight the infection, to fight the disease, to fight the problem in the system. And well, humans are not acting naturally right now. We're doing a lot of unnatural things. And the human body of Gaia may have antibodies that come and fix things and regulate the health of that system. In some ways, we could be the problem, and the problem gets sorted out, just like the dinosaurs got sorted out. Let's just say that. This is the thing, you know, the temperature of the planet could rise and a lot of people could die, and there could be less people on Earth, or maybe no people at all on Earth, and other living things will live past us, and a new thing will happen on Gaia, on the living organism that we live on. And you know, it'll be a new era, just like the dinosaurs had their age. Maybe Homo sapiens has a limited time on this planet, and then we're just gone at that point. So who knows? That's the thing right there. You see old places like Chernobyl, where there was radiation and a really bad disaster with a nuclear facility, and it gets left behind. And all those buildings are abandoned because nobody can live there because of radiation. And what happens is nature takes it back. Nature take back shopping malls. Nature take back everything. And if we're not here causing the unnaturalness of the organism that's called Earth, well, it'll regulate itself back to an equilibrium in the right natural way, with or without us. So either we get with the program and work with nature and the almighty Gaia God that I believe in, or we all perish. Seriously, we've got to do this. And David Suzuki's saying it's too late. We're already on our way to dying off and in mass extinction. And David Suzuki is somebody who would know, seeing that this is his forte of what he studied his whole entire life. He's a scientist. He's somebody who knows what he's talking about. He's going to know way better than Doug Ford or Donald Trump. That's what I'm going to say right there. That's right there. All right, let me see what else you guys are saying. Let's see. Neil's saying someone needs to make a video of Trump answering his followers with his blatant honesty. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it's there. They're so dumb. They just believe everything, and they just want to believe his cult of personality. That's what it is at this point. Kaloy saying, I have made my peace on what's about to come. In the bigger scheme of things, we have had our time in the sun, and if it's about to end, we had our time. No one really dies anyways. Our particles continue. I love that. I believe he's exactly right. We're all electrons, protons, and atoms and molecules. And what comes in goes in the dust of the world. Dust in the wind. That's right. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. You know, is true. We're matter, and we change from matter to the next matter. And that's why, it just mutates. It's mutative. It just mutates, and you go to the next form. And maybe your consciousness is not in a human body, but your consciousness goes to another realm, and it does still exist somewhere. Heaven, hell, whatever you want to believe about the afterlife, there is some spirit energy in you that could be going somewhere that we have no idea, that you can't detect, partly because we just haven't figured that out as humans on this side of things. So, there's a lot of different things going to happen here. Listen, I would say this. I don't want to be so doomsday. I want everybody to be vigilant and do what you can while we can right now. But also be aware that things are changing drastically, exponentially, quickly right now. And in some ways, the stuff that the United States is doing right now is accelerating it. Let's just put it that way. Trevor's saying God is a supreme being. He is the energy. See, that's what I'm saying. Trevor's image of God and what he believes may be more traditional than mine, but in some ways, it is the exact same thing we're talking about. Is the energy, it's the essence in us, it's the good in us, it's the natural existence of us, is God itself. Is exactly right. Kaloy saying, I just enjoy every day with my kids and family and Raptor Freaks community and Raptors basketball. That's right. And I don't want to be a downer. And I'm not saying, just be totally depressed now because I've totally said all this stuff. No, just be aware. It's better to be informed and be aware of what's possible and what may be coming than to get blindsided. That's what I would say. And yes, enjoy the moment. And especially in the world right now with so much misery and so much trying to put stuff on us to make us sad. It's really rebellious to be a happy person and enjoy your life and do the small things that you enjoy that are frivolous, and take those moments seriously. If that's all we've got is our own personal joy in the moment, go for it. Every single moment you can. Seriously. Kaloy saying, no one really realizes that one part of our lungs is outside of us that generates the oxygen, trees, and plant life. We are not special. Yeah, everybody, this is something that'll really blow your mind. And this is something that will tell you so much just how frivolous what Elon and Jeff Bezos are trying to do with space travel. This is exactly right. Kaloy says, we don't live on this planet without the oxygen we breathe, which is derived from our partnership with the green planet that is the trees, the plants. Now, there can be problems with oxygen levels on this planet because we don't have enough trees. One of the things that y'all may not know is that in this whole entire universe, what's very rare on US is a diamond, right? Diamonds are forever, right? Diamond is something that's like a form of carbon that has been formed to a very pretty jewel. And people think diamonds are so worth a lot of money, right? They have a lot of value in our society. What if I told you that diamonds aren't worth as much as a tree? You'd be like, what? There's tons of trees everywhere, Lex. There's tons of trees everywhere, but diamonds are rare. Diamonds have to be mined. Diamonds have to be made to be what they are. And that's why they're so expensive, but trees are not. What if I told you this, that in the whole realm of the whole entire universe, diamonds are plentiful like crazy. Like on other planets, they find diamonds all over the place. They find diamonds on Mars. They find diamonds on Venus. Diamonds are a natural rock formation that are plentiful throughout the universe. And if we looked at it that way, they're not really that much value. But I'll tell you what you cannot find anywhere else in the universe other than on Earth. What do you think that is? Trees, wood, living wood. Living wood does not exist anywhere else than on Earth. So if you think about what's worth money or what's valuable in this whole entire universe, not just on Earth, diamonds are worthless. And trees are some of the most valuable things in the world because they do not exist anywhere else other than on our planet. We have not successfully found tree material anywhere else in the whole entire universe. So you're going to tell me that trees aren't important, that trees can just be cut down and mass swaths just for some corporate oligarch to off of our resource, and they go away. Trees to build the forests that we have here in Canada take thousands of years, hundreds of years to get that exactly right. And I'm just saying, if you think about it in the way I just put it, you see how much more valuable trees are in our world because of where they are in the rest of the universe. Trees are absolutely essential, and Kloy's exactly right. And I'm giving him another dunk because he's just on fire right now. He is 91. That's exactly right. They have not found wood anywhere else in the world, anywhere else in the universe, other than here on this planet. That's right. Trevor's saying you cannot see him, but you can feel him. He created us in his own image and likeness. You know, that's part of our spidey sense of right and wrong. If you're doing something and you feel like, man, I don't feel like what I'm doing is right, that's God talking to you through your intuition. So pay attention to that voice because it'll keep you on the line of doing what's right and not doing what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me go through my tabs real quick. We're at 2.5 hours. It's fine, man. We're having a great discussion today. I've been enjoying it. Straight goods on Canadian goods, guys. If y'all are out in Calgary, go to Husky Energy. Husky Gas Station is a Canadian gas station owned by Cenovus Energy. And yeah, they're headquartered in Calgary. And the company primarily sources crude oil and natural gas from Canadian reserves. So if you need to buy gas in Alberta, Husky Gas is a great opportunity for you to buy Canadian gas. That's right. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, it's Mercedes Brooks' birthday, and Sandra's girlfriend's birthday. That's the birthday for today. All right, I guess we'll do the classic card. Let me get the box. I have it here. I did bring it with me. I guess I got to put this down for a second just to open the box and get the card. What is that? Oh, wow, that's a hard one. Okay, it doesn't even look like him. That's why. All right, guys, this is going to be a not so classic card, but it doesn't totally look like him. Full name answer, you get the classic card points. There you go. Who is that, guys? It's weird, man. I didn't recognize him at first. But if you know who that is on the classic card, you can get it right away. Let's see who's got it. Full name answer, please. And if you need some clues, I'll give you some clues. But yeah, who is this classic card today? He's the Jazz. 99 Jazz. Who is that, guys? Full name answer. Do you know who that is, that player? He doesn't look like that anymore. This is kind of the weird thing that threw me off. When I looked at the card, I was like, that's not that. Is that person really? It's kind of like the Lou Dort card we had the other day, where Lou Getz did not look like Lou Getz. But who is this, guys? We need a classic card answer here. Y'all can't tell who that is from his face. I'll bring it up real close. Full name answer, please. If you could. Are we getting any answers? Let me see. No, it looks like nobody wants to answer. Well, I'm not going to sit here for too long. I'm already half an hour over my time. So if you guys don't want to play classic card, I'll put it away. If you don't want to get guesses in. If you don't want to guess it, it's fine. I guess I went too political today. Malik Beasley. That's a good guess. He was on the Bucks, this guy, but it's not Malik Beasley. It's not Malik Beasley. It's a good guess. Royce O'Neal. That's another good guess, James, but that's not right. This guy was on Milwaukee. He's been on Utah. He's been on a couple of different places. He's kind of been around the league in different places, not really stuck to anywhere in some ways. Royce O'Neal, Malik Beasley, those are good guesses. All right, let me see. His first name is a letter in the alphabet. How about that? His first name is a letter in the alphabet. So that could give you a clue, maybe. I mean, if I gave you which letter of the alphabet, that'd be too easy. Let's just say it's a letter in the first 10 letters of the alphabet. Jay Crowder. That's right. It's Jay Crowder. That's right. Thank you, James. I appreciate you getting the classic card and letting me end the stream. Because that was hard, because that took a little while. I'm going to give James 150 for that one. 150 points on the Jay Crowder classic card of the day. James, Raptor Freak James, good job, man. You've had a really good summer this year, man. I really appreciate all your great questions and your input and your contributions to the Raptor Freak channel, my guy. Appreciate it. Yeah, you can remember his name. Yeah, he has dreads now. That's why he looks so weird to me. I was like, I guess he kind of has dreads and they may be back on that one, but maybe not. I don't know. Good job, James. We're proud of you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream. Freddie, we're sad for you getting hurt. It sucks. I hate it. Tomorrow, we'll do the Thursday Think Tank, and it's the call-in show. I'll be here still, so we're going to do the call-in show here at the hotel. I'll get a better backdrop. It kind of totally failed at showing the outside. I mean, I might do the show outside. That'd be fun, but maybe not. Maybe it's too bright. I don't know. Either way, yeah, we'll be here tomorrow, Thursday Think Tank. You can call in and call on the show at that time. All right. I appreciate everybody. I know we went heavy on the politics today, but I feel like a lot of what was said on this channel is stuff that needs to be aware of in some ways. I'm not trying to be a doomsday guy. I'm just reading what's going on with the different things that are moving around in society right now. And we need to not kid ourselves. This is not the run of the mill, normal kind of chaos that we're used to. And there's a lot of things that are agitated and moving a little bit more quickly than usual at this point. That's right. Nameless is here. Sup, everyone? Just taking a break from installing PX water lines. Glad I got the tail end of the stream. Nameless, I have plumbers at my place right now. That's part of the reason why I'm at a hotel. I maybe should have hired you, man. I don't know. Well, hopefully these guys are doing a good job. They're replacing our entire drain system at my house. And I hope they're doing a good job. I don't know. My dad's over there watching them right now. His name is saying, I'll have to rewatch the stream. I like the political elements of the stream. This is pretty heavy stuff. And some of the stuff I talked about today is very useful for everybody. I think it's very, very useful for orienting your mind on possibilities for being vigilant about the future. That's what I'd say right there. Yeah, they're doing the whole drain system. And this place was built in the 60s. And there's actually, this is a funny thing. They came in to look at the job, Nameless, and it's a father and son. And they came and showed up and they said, this clay pipe that they're using here is just like what Grandpa used to use. That's what they said. Yeah, there's a clay pipe that's running into our septic tank. And they're going to replace all this stuff. So, yeah. It's a big job, but there's a crawl space underneath, and they're doing it right now. So hopefully they get it done the next day or so, and then I can go home. That's why I'm in a hotel right now. Yeah, and then after that, we're doing the whole thing where they're going to seal the crawl space airtight, that kind of thing too. That'll make things better for the heating in the house and stuff like that. Yeah, Milbester's saying, but yeah, Lex, my sport drastically changed forever, like NHL crease rule. That's the MLB equivalent of the ABS challenge system. Check swing challenge system will be in the next couple of years. Yeah, I mean, the oversight's good in some ways for sports, but I don't like the oversight for speeding on the roads. Yeah, I mean, what's the point? Like, you're going to radar detect everybody's cars from everywhere, and they're going to detect immediately when you speed. This is one area where I'll get with Doug Ford on this. If you can get rid of the speed cameras, that's great. But don't get it twisted. They put those red light cameras, those speed cameras in there to tabulate geographic positioning of where people go sometimes and get information and data that way. Like, even if those cameras aren't taking pictures of you when you run a red light, they're filming and they're taking in information about when cars pass through certain areas. Just be aware of that. And that's why I'm saying the surveillance state of things is scary and it's messed up. Sure, they can surveil where the placement of a ball is in the strike zone, but I don't want them surveilling me in my private life. Yeah, that's what we got to look out. Yeah, clay pipes. That's right. We got to get them out of there. Agree saying, Lexathon, I didn't know we were doing this today. I don't know. I got time right now. Nameless saying, you would be surprised the range those cameras have too. Yeah, it's crazy. And the speed cameras are one thing, but be aware of the red light cameras too. And they do try and keep track of people's patterns of behavior and where they're going and stuff like that. I know that's scary as fuck. In some ways, you think about that. You're going to drive through an intersection in Toronto today, and you're going to say red light camera in use. And you'll be like, oh shit, they're filming me when I drive through. Yep. All right, y'all. On that note, stay vigilant, stay smart, stay together, stay for humans, stay for society, stay for the common good, stay for doing the right thing in the face of when a lot of other people may be doing the wrong thing because they think that it's the common now. No, stay true to your morals, your identity, and who you are, and don't sell out just to be weak because you're scared and you feel like you need to lick the boot. Don't do it. That's right. Larry Ellison going to buy TikTok. Yeah, we don't want that. All right, let's go Raptors. Let's go to training camp, media day next week. We're covering all the way through. We will be. Let's go Raptors freaks. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. back on the channel. Let's go.